this weather would be. Damn, I think my swagger is a weapon to me. And dudes don't count you off the record to me. So don't be stepping to me, trying to shake my hand. I'm already the man, ain't trying to make your band. I feel the fact that I'm real, just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fact that I'm real, just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. 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 You're not really seeing me, dog. Real talk. You feeling whacker than you ever would be. In mind, you think you would.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. We got some stuff to talk about today, y'all. As y'all know, every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do our BasketballWives review of the episode that happened this week, and a lot happened, y'all. So I want to jump into it like right off the bat. I want to go ahead and take care of the business of the channel really quick. If you want to join my tribe, please stay on my side. Go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you get notified every time I go live. Make sure you hit all so you get notified every time I go live. That way you don't miss anything. Like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section to keep me in the algorithm. And also, if you are here, comment in the chat. We're going to go ahead and play the intro and bring up Cindy. And we're going to get started, y'all. Let's go.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
All right, what is going on, Cindy?
Hey, what's going on? I mean, nothing could be going on more than what was happening last night.
You know, it was the 4th of July, and I don't know if the fireworks is going on more outside of my house or on this show. Okay.
Right. It was happening in both, okay?
Listen, Twitter was like a disaster last night. And so there's just so much to talk about. Yes. Brooke and Nia got into it all last night.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, okay. We'll get there because I'm like, what?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
It was crazy. And then also Nia and Naria was on Twitter Spaces last night as well, too, dropping a lot of information.
Wait a minute. Do you mean, is that the live version of Twitter? Because I'm not really a Twitter. Okay. Got it.
It's like Clubhouse, but it's on Twitter.
Oh, but okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we learned a lot. I learned a lot last night. Okay.
Oh, wow. I got to hear this. I got to hear it.
Whew, child, I mean, I just don't even know where to get started at. I'm disappointed. I don't even know whose side I'm on anymore. But you know,
because of the Twitter back and forth, because of what you found out, or because of the episode?
All of it.
Okay.
All of it. It's a lot.
I was going to say all I know is of the episode, so I'm really curious to hear what you're going to say about the other piece.
Okay, I want to review this show first.
Okay.
Because I don't want to shut down what's about to get shut down. Because what we saw, some of the stuff we didn't really see. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, it's a lot. So. Let's say what's up to everybody's in the chat. Thank you, Nihar. Y'all, welcome to the home of the tribe where SoDebNair is the host. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and make sure that you smack that notification bell so you won't miss out on any lives. What is going on with the Chi-Town? We have Velda in the building. We have Lovely 31 Blueprint in the building. We have Darren Hood in the building. We have Shay B in the building. Just Simply's in the building. We have other people that's sitting in the bushes. Y'all can come in and say hello. Okay.
Yeah, don't be out in the bushes. Come in and say hello. Right. And hey, just simply.
So, what I wanted to do first was because you asked me to pull up a few things.
Right,
What's
but
going on in the candy shop?
let's give our rating first, right?
Oh yeah, well let's do that. What's going on in the candy shop? So yeah, see, my mind's all over the place already. All right, so we definitely do start off the show with the ratings, so we can talk about ours while you guys drop your ratings in the chat on a scale from 1 to 2. What did you give this episode, and what did you give
I
it?
Yeah, I gave it a 10.
Okay,
This was some of the messiest mess. This was what I started watching the show about for. I
okay.
really enjoyed it. I was very entertained. How about you?
I was giving it a 10 too until I learned everything
Yeah.
after the show was over.
Oh no. Okay. Well, let's stick on the show right now.
For show purposes, I'm giving it a 10.
Okay.
What's going on, Sunshine? Sunshine's here.
Hey,
Um,
sunshine.
okay, lovely. 31 Blueprint said 10, 10, 10s across the board. Um, this was a lot to dissect this week. Nihar said 5 because I know the T. Okay, okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Just simply said I'm giving it an 8. Okay, okay. I mean, y'all knew I was gonna give it an 8. Darren Hood gave it an 8. What's going on, Joshua? Stella, what's going on? Stella said hello. I give it an 8. Okay, so we got another 8. Velda says a 9. So people were scoring it very high before. If you don't know the T, you're scoring it very high.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we can go ahead and jump into it. If y'all are just now joining, go ahead and drop what you rated it as we go on, and I'll pull those up as well. Let me pull up my notes too while I do this real quick. I forgot I even had notes. See, I'm all over the place already.
That must be some piping hot tea. What happened?
It's we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's pull up the first scene. The girls have arrived. Okay.
Yep.
They get to Vegas. It was cute. Like this was again, the reason why I keep saying I'm loving the season is because they're having girl fun. Basketball
Yep.
fun. So this was fun. Jackie actually put together a good trip.
I didn't like the safari deal. I just thought they flew all day. They were
Mm-hmm.
drinking and turning up on the plane. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, and then they go out, out to go see camels and stuff. I just felt like they should have gone to rest, especially because Angel was so pregnant. But
Yeah.
whatever, that was just me. Like I could have skipped this camel stuff.
Well, the girls all said that they thought this was a good trip. So for their purposes, I'm going to say it was a good trip for them as well.
Okay.
What's going on, Q? And Tamiko, what's going on? Glad I finally caught you live again. Thank you for catching me live. But I thought it was fun too because it was like something different. And I think the reason why, Jackie did say the reason why she did this was because they've been in Vegas like so many times. Like, let's do something different. So I thought,
Right.
yeah. So these are the girls. They're there. Did Jackie decides to blow smoke her breath up this Campbell's nose?
I know. Right, but that's what the trainer said to do. So okay.
I wanted them to explain this though.
Yeah, I didn't know why she said to do that. Like, does it soothe them or what does it do? Yeah, they should have just said that.
Yeah, they never explained why Jackie was blowing. I mean, we saw the camel's nostrils like flare up.
Right.
But I'm like, I mean, he did calm down because he was acting a fool at first.
Right.
I was like, is he going to jump over the fence?
Exactly. But that's what the other girls were like. Jackie's only the only person wild enough to go out there and try it. So
right.
yeah.
And what's going on, Nihar? I see you're here in the chat. So the girls arrived at the Vegas trip and said that they pull up at the camel safari. The camels are in heat. Jackie blows in the nose. They feed some llamas. And then we get to Angel and I'm clicking on the wrong one. Angel and Malaysia sit on the little bus and talk. I'm kind of getting tired of them having this conversation.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, I just feel like between like Rockstar and the Nia post, like I'm tired of them talking about it. Like Angel, I know she needed to take a break, but if it was bothering her that bad, then she should have addressed it at the time before
Or
taking
just
her
stayed at
word.
home.
Yeah, or just stay at home. Like,
Yeah.
she should have just talked to the girl and said what she had to say.
Yeah, then it was kind of like she was trying to be secretive about it because they were talking about it when they came back. She was like, let's talk about it because they're coming back.
Right.
I'm like, if
Right.
you're going to talk about it behind the back, girl, at least just address it and get it over with.
Exactly. Exactly. And then, I mean, this would have been a good time. At least it wasn't a real event. I always get annoyed when they do it at people's, like, events or parties or
Yeah,
whatever. Like, they're at this point, they're just sitting out in the desert. She could have just talked about it with the group.
right. And at first, when they were showing them getting off of the bus, I thought Angel stayed on the bus. But they eventually showed her on the bus. I don't think if she walked straight to I don't know what happened, but at first it didn't look like she was there.
Huh. Got it. I don't remember seeing if I saw her or not, but maybe it was because she was moving a little bit slower than the rest of the girls. Who knows?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the scene. They rushed and stopped talking about it because the girls got back on the bus. And then they go to the campfire. Brooke asked what Malaysia and Angel were talking about on the bus. And she told them that they were talking about her and Nia. Nia apologizes.
Yeah.
And Angel's like, I don't feel like it's real because you brought a rock. And, to me, we gonna all have responsibility at this point. Like,
Right.
Okay, Duffy, instead of her kind of coming at her, she kind of could have just said, well, she did say that she was the one who brought it up. But I mean, that was actually a part of the problem as well.
Well, okay. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I feel like I kind of understood what Nia was saying because one, with all the other shows, were like, the men don't address the women, and I
said that from the beginning, though. Did I
Yeah.
not? I said that from the beginning.
Yeah, and so I understood when she was saying that.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, they're kind of talking about it like, can they just talk about it? Because
Right.
when Duffy intersected and then Brooke intersected herself into it or inserted themselves into it, it just went back to the same thing again.
Yeah. And that's why that, in my opinion, that's why they should have talked about it with each other instead of in the group. But
Yeah.
since people that were in the group,
Mhm.
were there, I would have said my piece too. I don't think that it needed to be an argument, though. And Brooke didn't start out with an argument. She just said, I am the one that showed her the post. I'm the
Right.
one that showed the group the post. And
Right.
then it was Nia who was really kind of aggressive. And I could feel that she would feel attacked. But it's also like, girl, you're in this group. How many seasons has this show been on? You know that you should have just said, my bad. If she
Right.
would have just said my bad, it wouldn't have mattered if Brooke inserted herself. It wouldn't have mattered if Duffy said her little 2 cents. She should have just said my bad, and that's it. But she
Right.
didn't do that. She is arguing back and forth with the girls, and that was a problem. Now, I will say once again, in my opinion, I feel like I agree with what she said, which is surprising because I never really ever want to hear them talk. But I
Right.
agree with what she said.
Right.
But in our review, I've been saying exactly what she said, which was we never normally get the men involved. That's number
Right.
one. And that Duffy shouldn't have gone to go get him. And those are the 2
Right.
points that I said from the whole gender reveal debacle. Now,
Right.
that being said, after that happened, it was up to Angel, since it was about her life, to
Mhm.
confront that girl. And I understand she's in a high risk pregnancy and I'm pregnant and all of that. But girl, if it bothered you and it involved your man, then you
Mhm.
should have just said something.
Right.
It should have been between the girls, not him at all.
Because it was like, this is like what, episode 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, y'all had we had like 6 episodes for y'all to address this already.
Already. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and all kind of events that they've been doing. They could have even, when they were talking about it at Brandy's cooking tasting or whatever it was, even though I know the one sister came, the other one should have came too and just said her piece and move on with life. You know what I'm saying?
Brandy didn't invite her though because of that.
I understand that, but her sister got the invite. She drags her everywhere else. Just bring
Well, that's
her.
true. That's true.
So, and just get it over with. Like, we should have addressed this like 4 episodes ago, 5 episodes.
Just simply said the sisters had a long dialogue this episode.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they did just simply. Here we go. But okay.
But yeah, I think that also I did. So for me, I feel a little bit different because I felt like because she had not addressed Angel or talked to Angel about it, and Angel was asking questions, she was explaining her point of view to Angel. She was, to me, it wasn't like she making excuses. She
Yeah.
was telling Angel why she got offended and why she had made the action that she made. But
Right.
because they were already like on 10 about this Instagram post, like 7 episodes later, it turned into this whatever this was.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I'm just
Agreed.
like, I'm like over it. Like, I mean, please, like, can we not
Right.
have this ever again?
Right.
I
And
don't
I
feel like
think
I feel like how y'all feel about Brandy in Malaysia. Like, I don't want to see this again. You know?
right. Yes, that's exact. See, that's what I'm saying. It's only because Brandy is your girl that you don't feel like the rest of us, but the
Yeah,
world feels like how we feel. And in fact,
yeah.
I was over it, anyway, we'll get to that scene. But I will
Okay.
say that I understand what you're saying and I agree to a certain extent. But again, I feel like Angel is a really nice girl, but she was kind of being a little shady by
Yeah,
talking about it with Malaysia and outside of those outside of the sister. She should have just talked to the sister and not just say how it made her feel a kind of way and she wanted to have some respect. And I'm like, well,
right,
if you want respect, girl, you have to go and you know put your big girl pants on and go and say this is a problem to me. Every
right,
other woman does that on the show. So
right,
the fact that she just feels like, well, I really didn't like it, I don't want to be talked about. But girl, you brought your relationship on the show. This is only like the second or third episode that we haven't even seen Rockstar, maybe only the second. He's been in every single episode,
right.
and that's her fault.
Yeah. And again, like you always say, like we never see the husband. So
Yeah, never. We never
like
get to see their man, and if we do, it is brief, and it is like one husband throughout the whole season.
it's like, yo, I'm about to go. I'm leaving out the door right now. See you later.
Right.
Right. It's not a sit down. The only person who really has it is Doug, and
Yeah, exactly.
that's because Jackie can't function without him. So
I
we
know.
understand that.
Yeah,
So,
right. Exactly.
but that's it. I did like that Malaysia was trying to stop it and like kind of control the atmosphere because it was getting to be a lot for her.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make sure I remember something that she says later on because this also makes sense about Malaysia too.
Okay.
Um, but so Malaysia tries to interrupt them, but they ignore Malaysia. Jennifer then levels with them. She's like, well, I did talk to her before this. And Jennifer kind of explained to them, like,
Yep.
this isn't what she really meant. She was like, even though, it was wrong or whatever. And I will say this. So they were both live on Instagram this week. Uh,
Jennifer and Malaysia you're talking about, or their
no,
sisters?
the sisters were.
Okay.
Naria was on live, and then Nia joined the live later on.
Okay.
But I asked in the live, I said, a lot. I wanted to know, like, did she think that was funny? And she said that she didn't look too much into it. And so while I was typing, Nia joined the live as well. So she actually answered my question. And she
Okay.
said that the reason why she posted this, she said, because to her, out of wedlock baby food is better than wedlock baby food because wedlock baby food is too bougie for her.
Okay.
So
Okay,
that,
so that was her intention, but still,
yeah,
but the fact that, okay, I get it, but it still wasn't funny, even though I understand what she meant and she was trying to be funny.
yeah,
But still, the girls don't know either of those sisters well enough to get their
mhm,
sense of humor yet, and so I still feel like on some level it was inappropriate. Like they don't know each other yet.
right,
Like I mean, you have tons of inside jokes with your friends, but when
right,
they're two newbies and they're trying to join the group,
mhm.
just don't say anything until you get to know everybody better is my recommendation. However, she didn't do that, but I now understand that she was trying to be funny.
Right. And I also seen that Naria they kept showing the caption at the bottom. She was like, "Look, y'all don't understand, y'all don't know her." I think she was saying they don't understand her humor, but
Yeah.
it was like they keep cutting them off. So to me, and I've been seeing this going on for a lot of reviews that I watched today.
Uh-huh.
It does kind of make it look like, well, why do they bring them on? Because it's like they give like half of what they said. and then you don't get to hear the rest of it. So it makes them look worse. And I was watching someone, I think it was Richie Scott today. He was saying that they're basically like there to be the punching bags for this season because they're not contracted. So the girls can do whatever they want with them. And
Got it. And that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes it look like that because even when she was trying to say, like you just said, her sister was actually saying that, but they cut her off at the end of it, so you don't know what the rest of the quote was.
Right. And again, they are kind of, and I said this too, and I'm not trying to. I mean, obviously they're people, and all of that, but I was just like, they are, they kind of, one, cancel each other out, and then two, it's just kind of like, they're kind of seat fillers. I hate to say it like that, but they really are. They're really, they're not like cast members. They're not at the beginning intro. They just kind of like fill in as needed.
Right. Then after this, only thing that happened was Duffy got up and left. She was basically like, Angel's my girl. Make sure she's good. I gotta go meet friends Montana. She's taking British with her. And then Angel and Nia walk off and they start talking. And they kind of explain to her. Angel's like, listen, I'm not fully like taking an apology, but we can move on. We're not gonna be friends anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right. So. I mean, that was one thing that I did kind of respect Angel for saying that, like, let's just move on. I mean, like it's kind of like, let's agree to disagree. This has been, a storyline, and it's unnecessary. Like, we could all move on from this. So I was glad that she said that, but she did say, like, we don't have to like be best friends, but
like,
I
don't think they was ever going to be best friends. So that's totally fine with all of us.
Exactly. No, we don't want them on the show. Sorry. I don't want them. And this is before I get to hear the tea, but okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I could see why the one is on because she is a basketball wife, but the other one I just don't understand. So
right. But I didn't like how they were acting. We'll get to that scene. Go
ahead.
We're
gonna get there.
Okay.
Wait, somebody said something. Ron said, I wonder if Duffy would have walked up on Tami like she did on Maria. Well, we know that she would, because she did.
Yeah, she did.
So
she almost got her head knocked off, but she did.
Yeah, I mean, she did. Everybody doesn't make good decisions.
Right.
All right, so then we get to the next scene. The girls are at the house. And I just want to just break this tea while we're going through here.
Okay.
So the girls are at the house. Angel tells them that they asked Angel what they were talking about. Angel's over it. I mean, her ankles are swollen, and she's like, "Listen, y'all,
I'm tired. She was like, I'm tired. I'm pregnant. I got ankles. Like, yeah.
I'm like, girl, you need to be in the bed for the rest of this damn. If your ankles is looking like that, okay, it's not okay.
Exactly.
I'm down for you to sitting around.
Just sitting it out. I'm glad that she didn't try to drag out to the show. Although I did. Okay. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Let's see.
The house is beautiful. I did love the house.
Yeah, the house was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that they didn't even stay at this house.
Oh, what? What?
This was the producer's friend's house. They filmed here during the daytime. They stayed at hotels at night.
What?
Yeah. So.
Okay. So when Duffy kept saying my house this and my house that, and I got this house for you girls, and do you like the house that I gave you? They did not.
No one slept there at that house.
Wow.
Yeah.
See how they do us? How they do us?
Which kind of takes away from the whole get out the house situation at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even your house, girl.
That's what I was just saying. Like all of that, all of that smack that she was talking, it's not even okay.
But so I mean, there's that. That's something that's not a part of the show, but y'all know that part. Let's see where we at. The girls at the house. Angel tells them about Nia and Brooke. Okay. Oh, Angel tells them that Nia feels that Brooke and Duffy are coming down on her. And then Angel tells them that she's not going because she's tired and all that stuff. We just talked about that part. Mm-hmm. So then we get to this part, which was creepy to me.
Yeah, it was. It It was. That whole meeting was so weird. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I'm like, is this Pimp my
Yeah.
friend? What?
Thank you. I was gonna say she sounded like a pimp. It was really, really strange. And also, I didn't even understand why she needed to take anybody. Like, she has been working with this man for years, right? So, like,
Right,
British of all of the women, why would she take her? She already has her friend in the record industry there. Why
right,
would I just didn't get it at all.
right. Chi-Town is so stupid. She said, I would have been like, we both leaving then.
Yep.
But so this is them. They catch up with French and her friend. Is it her manager or something? I don't know what the girl is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Duffy pimps out British to French Montana,
Which was
and
what did you think about that? It was just so random and
he
weird.
looked uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, to me too. He
He
was
was
looking
looking
like
like,
what he was looking at her like, girl, what are you doing?
yeah. And then why was she dressed like somebody's grandmother?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
British.
It wasn't
Um,
it wasn't great.
I don't, she had like a tablecloth.
Yeah.
I didn't understand her outfit at all. Then
But
she
again, I
started.
think isn't this what they traveled all day in? I don't even think she got a chance to refresh. They went
No, they had
straight
on
from
pink.
that.
They had on pink when they traveled.
No,
But
when they
maybe she didn't have time
first
to change her clothes between the time they went
exactly.
from the house and she didn't check into the hotel yet.
Exactly. Or the fact that when we saw them all, we never did get to see that look of Jennifer and Brooks, which I loved. They still had on their pink, but the other girls changed because even Duffy had something on different. Like, she had on this, but when
Yeah,
she first got onto the jet, she was in a
a
bodysuit.
bodysuit.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think some of the girls did change because even the non-twin twins, they had on gray. They had on pink initially as
Oh
well.
yeah, they sure did. They did change.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I'll put French look uninterested and changes the subject. And
That's what happened. Yep.
that's what happened. And then
Yep.
Duffy presents her album I Did in French and he agrees to do the song.
Yep.
I was happy for her for that.
Me too. But I just felt
Uh,
like, why was she so nervous? It's just like French Montana. It wasn't like she was sitting in the room with Tupac or
yeah.
somebody like big, big. Like,
Well,
I was
but
like,
you know what? She said he's the biggest artist that she worked with. But do you
oh,
remember when she was on a season with Tami? Didn't she say she worked with Drake?
yeah. Or I don't know. See, that season was Duffy to me was kind of all over the place and a little bit
Mhm.
shady. So I felt like she was like, because that's what she told Tammy about working with her daughter. And
Yeah,
so then it was kind of like, oh, well, we just kind of I heard the music and I did a little collaboration. Like, her story kind of kept changing about who she actually worked with. Like, French is the
right.
one that I know that she has definitely worked with because I've seen proof. The other people,
Prosperity Thick Girl said he looked like, ain't this the chick that be scamming?
right. That's exactly what he looked like, and really uncomfortable. Yeah. Allegedly
Right,
the
allegedly.
scammer.
Right, allegedly.
Right.
The Shottown said French was like, I read the blogs.
Right. You guys are funny. But it's true though. I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's not a secret. She has been out there,
yeah. But yes, I'm glad the scene was very short because I'm like, this was creepy to me.
Yeah, it was.
And then it was kind of weird because it was like, why did Bridge have to ask him to do the song with her? With him?
Right. Right, because Duffy wouldn't spit it out. You could see that she was incredibly nervous. She should have just, and that's what I said. I thought it was weird for somebody that she had been working with for years to not be able to feel comfortable to say, "Look, I maybe can't do the tour thing, but I really want to branch out to here. Would you like to,
Right.
can you help me out with the song? Just spit it out." But she seemed really nervous. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
British is like, you already done pimped me out. I might as well ask for a song too.
Right. Exactly, but
Hell.
but also British kind of pimped herself out because she kept being like, "I want to hook up and I want to hook up." Although once again, I was annoyed that Duffy inserted herself. She is not Cupid. Like, just girls,
Right.
let her find her own man.
I mean, we saw what
You
you
know,
brought to the meat market, and it wasn't that great. So I mean,
right, right. Now, if it was Brooke, I'd be like, okay, show me who you got. But yeah,
you're right. But that was this scene, and then we get to the girls are back at the house. Duffy calls, and she's like, I don't want." She said she didn't want Nia to go. Now I will say that
okay.
she did say
And
that.
and she did say that, and she was
Yeah,
right. But can we look at Brooke? How fabulous she looks! I love her look.
yeah. She was
Love.
looking. Brick was looking good this entire episode.
But yes, she was. I was like, go ahead, girl. The
Yeah,
rest of them look so raggedy sitting next to her.
yeah.
She's like shining. But
Malaysia
yeah,
love, she over it.
yes, totally. Totally. But once again, so yes, she called and she was right. She said, I said Nia. She wasn't feeling
Yeah.
Nia's energy.
She's like,
And
I feel like I don't
because
want her to go.
yeah, because she was arguing with her at the little camel thing. So I wouldn't really have wanted her to come on the trip at all, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, but that was pretty much that. The girls was like, we'll sit home. She said, yeah, I just think like maybe y'all should sit this one out. Um, and then the girls was like, yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. That was pretty much it. I mean, I think they handled this well.
I think that
Um,
they did too, but once again, if they really felt a way about it, then they should have addressed it. But maybe they were just trying to let her have her show. I don't know.
yeah, I think that they were pretty much. I think that honestly, I think that they were probably just as tired as everybody else because nobody even went.
Yeah. Well, only Brandy
Randy,
and British.
British,
British.
and Brooke.
Yeah.
They were looking through who
Uh
went. So
yeah, but that was what I was going to say earlier. I just thought it was a little bit rude that she kept making such a huge, I mean, obviously it didn't turn out to be her last show, but you come on this trip for her, like you couldn't rally and just go to the show. It should have been more girls at that show. I mean,
right,
Angel, we get Angel should have
right.
sat that one out, but to me, the rest of those girls should have been there, all of them except for Angel, Jackie too.
I think that they should have been like, don't nobody drink until we get to the house tonight
Right, I
because
agree.
I knew that they weren't going to make. I mean, they're older.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I couldn't drink all day and then go see camels and then go to a new house and then got to go to a
Yep.
hotel, check in, and then go out there.
No,
I wouldn't be able to do it either.
I wouldn't be able to do it either. And I mean, like I said, I mean, I have learned to like pace myself, but I would have just said we can start cocktails once we get to our location. I'm annoyed that they didn't get to stay at that house, but yeah, it's just like, they I mean, once you get past like, close to 40, like,
Yeah,
and 40 and over, you have to pace yourself for this stuff. It's not
right.
impossible, but I did, they shouldn't have been drinking all day for sure.
And I agree. But I
No.
mean, I understood when they got to the next episode. Well, I guess we'll wait till we get to that part. Um, so
But Miss
definitely
Kept
unlike the
Secret,
twin.
just going to say, Miss Kept Secret, we agree with you.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was the only one. The rest of them really should have gone. I just felt like it was rude. Like that was the point of the trip. Like
I could even see why Jackie would have stayed too. She's the oldest
yeah,
one, so I can see
yeah,
that too.
yeah. And she drinks the heaviest out of all of them.
Well, yeah, that
Yep.
too. um, so we just talked about only Brooke, British, and Brandy go to the thing. Duffy is struggling with this being her last show. Oh, hold on, let me pull this up. So this Duffy's at her show. She did. I think she does an amazing job as a DJ.
Yeah,
One,
me too. Yep.
I thought she did an amazing job, and just them showing the clips of her, the history of her doing it. It looked like she really does enjoy that.
Yeah,
So
and when you forget that you're working, that's when you love something,
yeah,
and she loves it, period.
yeah,
I thought she did great. I hate the look, but I
yeah.
thought she did
I
great.
wasn't a fan of what she had on either.
No,
Yeah.
at all.
And then this scene didn't make sense to me either because they were out at nighttime and then it's daytime in this scene. It's at the
Because
five.
at the Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
maybe
say
they
at
were
the
just
bottom
getting
it
in.
shows that. Yeah, they stayed out all night, basically.
Okay. Because I'm like, why
Yeah.
is it daylight and she's just not having a conversation? But it still doesn't seem right because they went to the club after this. So I don't know. It is something. It's something. It just seemed like they forgot to record this part. They went back and did it.
Yeah, that's so funny. To me, because she had on the same outfit that she performed in, I just
Yeah.
think that they stayed out all night. Most clubs in Vegas start at like 10 o'clock. So
Right.
it really was. If you think about it, it really wasn't that long of a day.
Right.
So yeah.
But this scene, Duffy just tells the girls that she's going to continue DJing because she doesn't want to quit. This is her life. She loves it, and she's not stopping.
And I love that. Yep.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have to go back and forth with her man about it. Like, her career should be her career. If it's important to her, he should be a little bit more understanding. And
Right.
they seem like they need that extra income. So I don't know what he's pushing for her to stop for.
Okay, listen.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry.
Right.
That's just me. That's just me.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Yep.
All right. So then we go to our next scene. I love this scene.
Me too.
Right?
Because
I love this scene.
This seemed like the old Malaysia and Jackie.
Yes.
Like, I love it.
And again, this is what I tune in for.
Me too. This is what I tune in for. But so Deb, let's just point this out. So
Okay.
Malaysia looks cute and she has on a bikini. Why does it look like Jackie has on just a bra? That's not a bikini, right? Is she just wearing underwear at this point?
Well, you know what? I think that Jackie normally goes into the hot tubs and stuff like this because if you remember when the season that Drea got into that fight with Sunday, remember Malaysia went over, she said, "Why are you naked?"
Right.
And she said, "Well, I'm about to get to the hot tub," but she had on the black bra.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, is this just her uniform? She just refuses to invest in a real bathing suit. Is that what's happening here? That's the only thing I didn't like. I was just like, Jackie, I'm tired of seeing the bra. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
It looks like the same bra.
Yes. This is like a decade later. I'm just kind of like, what is happening here? Yes. I'm right, Chi-Town.
She said, Lawson. Just simply said, "I thought I was the only one." Cindy.
I was just like, we see Malaysia walking towards a hot tub, and then they pan over to Jackie, and I was like, "Come on, Jackie! At this point, just invest in a few bathing suits." I mean, even some of the girls on the show have had, Drea was one of them, have had swimsuit collabs. Like, girl, just wear a bathing suit. Anyway,
you could have just got one from Drea before she left.
Right. Well, no, they weren't getting along at the end. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. No, because remember her daughter was fighting about Drea's man, saying that they dated and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So they are in the hot tub. Malaysia wants to pee in the hot tub. Now, this was
it was totally disgusting, but Jackie is disgusting. And so she said that I just thought it was hilarious when they showed the flashbacks, because I remember all of that. She was like, she has tortured me for years. And she has.
Yes.
And she knows.
But before they played them clips, before they played those clips, I was like, I know you lying.
Right. Right.
Absolutely not.
She would never do that. She would never do that. Jackie would do that, but Malaysia would never do that. So
I'm gonna tell you, I was weirded out when Jackie put her hands in that pool by Malaysia.
Yes, me too.
I said, "Now hold on, now."
It's warm. See, that's what I'm saying. Now she's disgusting.
You went over there to feel. You could feel the pee coming out.
Yes, I'm like, gross. So yeah, but I still liked it because she finally got her back. I thought it was funny that they had a moment. She was able to talk about Doug, which of course she was on the verge of tears for. Yeah. And her 26 years.
I really felt bad. I felt bad for her though.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Because I think at this age, she probably thought she finally got him back. She started kind of like, settling into like retired life. And now he's she can't live without him. He is her world, so I did feel bad because again, maybe this wasn't the plan and he has changed the plan and she's having a hard time adjusting. But it was finally nice to not see like, I'm so, 26 years and let's get married for the 30th time, she's you could kind of see the full fullness of her relationship with Doug, and I didn't mind that.
Yes. And shout out to Nola Reeds. Y'all keep Nola Reeds in y'all's prayers. She has COVID.
Oh,
And it's really taking a toll on her. So y'all keep her in y'all's prayers. And
oh,
we're praying for a speedy recovery.
absolutely. I'm so sorry to hear that.
So Jackie, you just kind of gave Jackie's story. Then Malaysia starts talking about how she's in a better place because her kids are with her now. You kind of
Yes.
see a little bit of more happiness. And this is what I want to bring up. Malaysia, well, she said that she's happy she'll be around Brandy and have fun. But she said something that stood out to me.
Me
She
too.
said she said that she wants to be able to come around the girls because and not, have this hard moment, but every time she comes around them, they're fighting.
Yep. She said that. And I thought that was really interesting. And I also felt like we're not there yet, but I'm just going
Yeah,
to throw out there. I felt like it was really interesting too that she said that when she has an issue, she's very tunnel vision. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So she's focused on resolving that issue. And I
yeah,
know that, I kind of described that a couple of episodes back that I am that way too. And
yeah.
the fact that she is also a Leo, like
Oh,
we are the
Leo, yeah,
same sign. Yeah, and I'm a Leo, and I really am that way too. I just want to kind of buckle down and solve that problem. And sometimes you can't do that. It will hurt your personal relationships because you're not really communicating to other people that that's what you're doing. Because I
hmm
know I do that myself, and I'm not trying to make excuses for her, but I'm just saying I know I have been guilty of that myself in the past. Instead of saying I just need to solve this, and even sometimes when I say I just need to solve this, people think that you still want to, you can multitask and still want to go out and stuff, and I'm like, no, I need to solve this, and I won't
right,
I won't focus on anything else until I do. So that made a lot of sense to me.
right. And
Yeah.
Shaka says she's the same way as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but at this moment, I just really enjoyed it because one, this was like the most authentic moment that we've had on Basketball Wives in a while.
I agree 1,000%. And I think it's probably because, in all honesty, they know each other the
Yeah,
longest. They've been on the show longer than any of those girls combined. Duffy was a season here or there, Angel season here or there. I know that you said that Brandy has been on there since like the third season. I still don't remember her from that, but I do know that she was on the show, obviously. But these girls, Jackie and Malaysia, have been there since the beginning. They
yeah,
know each other,
yeah,
and I think it was so much more relaxed, and it was good to see.
yeah. And then you already went over what Jackie said, so that's pretty much it for this scene.
Mhm.
Of course, Jackie does ask her about talking to Brandy, and she's open to it. She's like she's not really about to put all that into it, but if it happens, it happens, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I was actually pleasantly surprised to hear her say that. I was like, what? Okay. I
Yeah,
mean, I think once she got the situation resolved with her children, I really feel like she's just like, okay, girl, what is it now? And I think it's good that they should just move on. My goodness.
hmm
And she said, I'm tired. She said, I'm just tired, you know?
yeah.
Mhm.
But it also makes me feel like, I wish that they would actually have, like, when they're addressed with situations, like,
Yeah.
have these conversations, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because this could have stopped a lot of stuff
I
that's
agree with
gone
you.
on.
I agree with you, so Deb. But sometimes when, especially like I said too, and maybe it's just a Leo thing, when somebody confronts me, I'm going to get you before you get me. I will, so don't come at me and attack me. Right here, she's relaxed because she's with Jackie and she's not being attacked. So she could logically think like that's all I see is red. Even if I want to be like logical and have the conversation with you, if you're
Mhm.
attacking me, we're going to fight about it. I'm not saying like throwing bows, but I'm saying, I'm going to argue with you. I'm
Just
not going
throwing,
to sit.
just throwing, just throwing tables.
Yes. I have gotten to that point, but yes. But yeah, she did do that because I think she, once again, she was feeling attacked, and so she
Yeah,
went and fought back. I mean, that is what a lion does. That's what we do. So I just feel like now that she's calm and relaxed and she's gotten that thing squared away, she's thinking logically now and not emotionally, and that's why she's saying I'd be open to it. Like, I'm not going to chase it down, but if we had the conversation now, I'd have it.
Yeah, I mean, and she brought up the point is that she said that this is what she looks forward to with these group of women.
Yep,
It's the fun
agreed.
stuff. And
Yep,
so that's why all her walls were able to come down because she was where she wanted to be.
yep, exactly.
So that's that. Then we get to Jackie wants to tell the girls, but basically she just told Malaysia. And
Right.
this part, I actually like this part as well too.
Yeah.
Because it was a I think it was like a something that kind of clicked for them, like, yo, we really don't ever really check on Jackie like that because they think everything is perfect with her all the time. One, because she says it all the time.
Right. Right. And I'm just like, if we have to hear about it again. But yes, anyway, we heard it again.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they were able to actually comprehend what she was saying. She wasn't asking for advice on her relationship. She was just like, basically, I need somebody here to listen to me and
Yeah.
talk, and hear me. I need to vent sometimes, basically.
And
Not don't
also
give me no relationship advice.
yeah, exactly. But also she was honest by saying, like, just don't assume that I'm always okay.
Right,
Like, and that everything is all happy. Like, just because somebody doesn't focus on their personal issues doesn't mean that they're not having them.
right.
And so I thought that was really important. It's also because, we do that a lot of times in the Black community, is that, mental health is really important. And, just because we are strong people,
Hmm.
and our culture is strong, doesn't mean that we're strong all the time.
Right.
That we don't have struggles. And I thought that it was really insightful, of a woman of that age to say that to the younger women.
Miss Dre said, I don't want to ever hear the number 26 ever again in life.
Miss Drea, you and I are always on the same page, girl. I'm with you, okay? None of us ever need to hear that again. No.
I think that Brandy had pointed out something that before Jackie got into this, I thought it was very interesting because I didn't even recognize this. Even looking at other shows,
Hmm.
she was saying that Jackie was the only person who's had a vow renewal on television, and
And
they
didn't get a
actually stayed
divorce.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And didn't get a
that
divorce.
was
That's why I just say it's so true. But then again, that does not mean that all of these years Jackie has had no problems with her husband. It just means
yeah,
that we have not seen that.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And then we get to my favorite part.
I know it is. I was like, so Deb is in heaven. However, so I'm gonna let you praise your girl. I am gonna let you praise her, and I'll praise mine. But before we get there, I can't with the Chewbacca outfit. I don't. It's so horrible to me. That look, she looks like Chewbacca from Star Wars. Like, I'm sorry, Brandy. Get a better stylist. Like, choose better. But okay, let's get to the warm and fuzzy moment. Go on.
I love this moment between Malaysia and Brandy, even though this is not going to last.
Yeah.
Just for the little bit of time that it is, I did enjoy this because one, and I'm not pulling up y'all's laughing emojis about that. So
The truth is the truth. You don't have to pull up the emojis, okay?
we do not do Brandy slander over here. Y'all know that.
It's not slander. The truth is the truth, and that was just not flattering. I'm sorry, but we digress. Her, where her hand is, like from her head up, great. That
Yeah,
outfit,
I thought she looked cute on this episode, honestly.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but Malaysia's like, listen, I'm sorry for being a bad friend. I love the interaction they have for this.
right.
Um, I felt like if I wish Malaysia would have said this when they had the conversation the first time, though. And I get what you
Well,
were
but
saying. I get what you were
yeah,
saying
yeah.
about her having tunnel vision. So I understand that.
No, but
But
she also didn't. But she also wasn't feeling attacked, so she was comfortably sharing with the girls. And I
right,
and I like and I was surprised, and I liked that Brandy then also kind of dialed it down and went into
right,
more of an emotional space instead of more of a aggressive fighting state. You know what I mean? They just kind of went back to how they used to interact, and it was nice to see. And I was glad that Malaysia just took the opportunity to say, and to you, Brandy, because she wasn't even talking to her at first, but she said, and to you, I'm sorry. And I don't really see her only being like the bad friend, because once again, like she said, they hadn't talked in 3 years, so they don't know each other. So why wasn't she reaching out to Malaysia as well?
I think to me, the thing that I think that bothers Brandy the most is that Malaysia had a relationship with her dad. So like it wasn't
Yeah.
just, I felt like maybe it felt like she didn't have any kind of empathy or sympathy for
Uh-huh.
her father dying, or maybe it did like it felt like it didn't matter to her when they had a relationship and she
Mm-hmm.
knew that her dad loved Malaysia and Malaysia loved her dad back. So I
Right.
think that's where it was coming from based off of her question that she asked Malaysia. And that's why I'm like, this is what I kind of already imagined. To me, I think that me and Brandon are probably like the same type of people when it comes to our friendships.
Yeah.
Because I am like that. Like, we might not be talking or whatever. It could be 3 years. But
Yeah.
if I'm going through something like this and you've had a relationship with someone who's close to us or whatever, like I do, if and the weight that weighs down on me,
Yeah.
I would expect you to even say something. And even if she said, let's say you didn't know. When you did know, you still didn't, like, even when she told her on the show,
Yeah.
Malaysia was like, I didn't know. Like she didn't,
Right.
it wasn't like it clicked for her. Like, but again, I guess her explaining that she's in tunnel vision, it
Yeah.
probably didn't hit her at that time either.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I like she said, I believed, and I said this from the beginning. What you just said, you said that from the beginning. You that was your opinion,
Yeah,
when we first talked about it. And I can see your point, but I also see my point in the fact that, like I said, with Malaysia, it's kind of like, I'm glad we got more of explanation of where she was coming from. But once again, like I said, I think had Brandy approached her differently from the very beginning, we wouldn't have been here. But I'm glad that we got here, because even if Malaysia was in tunnel vision, she should have just said, "But you guys had a relationship and you guys were close, and it hurt my feelings." I think
right.
if Brandy would have said that to Malaysia, it probably would have clicked in of like, "I'm really sorry. I didn't know, but now that I know, even though we haven't spoken, I am really sorry. Please let me know if you need something." You know what I mean?
I
But
think
but I
what
think
also
because
hit Brand. I think what also hit Brandy hard for this was when she said that she didn't want to put that weight on her friends.
yeah, me too.
And that was, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, y'all know I cry, and I said I want to
I
cry
know. I
because
knew that I knew that you were gonna
I
get
could
emotional.
understand that. Because
Yeah,
for me, I'm that person. I'm the same way. Like
I'm the same way too.
like there was a point in my life where I went through so much stuff. Like I'm like I don't feel like saying it to anybody else
Yep.
because it's like I'm going through something else. Like let me just handle it myself. You know.
Yep, yep. And from what she said, and I don't know if you caught on to that little line, was she said, "You told me that I
Yes.
was putting a lot on you."
Yeah.
So and for me, I know it's really, really difficult for me to share, and I never want to be a burden on my friends. So if
Yeah.
my friend is already telling me like, okay, it's a lot, I would have stopped as well.
Yeah.
I would have as well, because you don't want to burden them. I'm sure that that was not Malaysia's intent, but like
Right.
you said, when you're going through so much, really that's all you're thinking of, and that's all your focus,
Right.
so yeah.
So yeah, this tore me apart. So
Yeah. Oh.
it did. I'm like, oh my god, and then I'm like,
You really love their friendship. I'm like,
I,
okay, girl.
again, because I think me and Brandy have a lot of similarities when it does come down to friendships. Like for me, my
Yeah.
friends mean everything to me. One, because I live away from my family,
Yeah.
so my friends are like my family to me. And
Hmm.
like me and my best friend have split apart. In my life now, and we have a Malaysian and Brandy relationship like now,
Okay.
and I just understand what it's like for you know on Brandy's side, where I just want to know what the issue is or why how we got here. And
Hmm.
I've been cut off and there's no explanation. I've been going through things and you haven't reached out to me. Like it makes sense to me. So for this right here, even if this was like, even if they argue after this, to me, I think this is going to sit with Brandy to the fact that listen, we got two totally different things going on.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think
And
that whether they make up or not, this is what they needed.
yeah, absolutely. I think that this is what the entire group that they've put drug into it needed
Yeah.
to. I think like just have this moment, even though that Jen and Evelyn had their moment like this too, and then they wound up fighting again. But whatever.
Mhm.
Like you said, even if they wind up fighting again, they resolved that issue. But I still think that Brandy still had another issue with her not being on the show.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they addressed it.
Mhm.
But at least they addressed this one issue about her father,
Yeah.
which is the most important thing, actually.
Chi-Town said, "Well, Dev, I need you and Brady to go to therapy and talk about this." I'm shutting down the studio. No, no, I just think, honestly, I just feel like for me, like when I love somebody, I like it's over and beyond. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing that can really break that up. I don't care how long the break is. So I just get it, you know.
Yeah, I'm not like that. No. When I'm
And I
done,
think
I'm
that's
done.
why I sympathize with Brandy more.
Yeah. But I mean, but I'm glad, but see, Malaysia's even different than me. Like, I'm so loyal to my friends out of fault, but if you've done something to me and I'm done,
Mhm.
I'm done. I'm done. I don't care about your feelings. I don't want to hear what made what brought you to something. I'm done. So
Yeah,
the fact that she was able to, you know, take accountability for her actions, her part in it. I was
yeah,
very proud of her for. I thought that was a big deal because I don't feel like Brandy really did that. Although Brandy did go over to, she was like, "Do you need a hug? I think you need a hug." Like she could have not done that. She could have just let her have her words, and so that was big of both of them. But I felt like Malaysia took more accountability for her behavior for like throughout the season than Brandy did to me.
well, I think because Brandy was ready to talk and Malaysia wasn't. So I think now that this door was open, I mean, now this is what it is. Now,
Yeah.
whatever happens next week is something I don't know what's happening. We'll find out next week. But
Okay.
I think because she's been ready to talk and now Malaysia's finally talking, she's like, I'm gonna take whatever I can get. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. And like I said, I mean, I know that you didn't really see it this way, but in almost every episode, she would bring up something about Malaysia, and like I said, she seemed like an ex girlfriend or an ex partner, more than just a friend.
Yeah.
But whatever. So I think this is what she really needed. This is what she wanted, was to get her attention, and she got it finally.
I think this is basically closure for them.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
I agree.
Um, but again,
But this
y'all,
was this
I
was
cried
this was
about
the
it.
oh this was the best scene to me. This was the
Yeah.
best scene. Yeah.
Chi-Town, we don't care, and I ain't pulling it up.
Chi-Town, you and I see. Okay, we're on the same page. We're on the same page.
You go to counseling and find out what the accountability you should take is. But I think the part that, okay, so this is the part that I love Jackie and Malaysia together. I love
Yeah.
this scene.
Yep.
And then let's take a deep breath, y'all.
And then we don't like it. Like all the love stops right here. Right here. Yeah.
Then this happens.
Right.
And I'm like, man,
Right.
I wanted them to end the episode after that.
Me too.
I mean,
Like
it
it
was
just
such
it
a
should
good
have just been,
episode.
yeah, they should have just in but unfortunately it wouldn't have made sense because I don't know how much more when they said that it's going to be a part 2, how much more of this trip that they're going to have, but
Yeah.
they should have just ended it with the reconciliation for sure.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think a lot of, I mean, I think it was closer. And I did see someone, I want to say it was Richie Scott, I was watching him earlier today. To me, and I think we can probably all agree on this. Like, I almost want to get rid of everybody else on the show and just leave Jennifer, Jackie, Malaysia, and Brandy, uh,
Yeah, I agree.
because all this other stuff is unnecessary. And learning after the show is over with that
Hmm.
all this is like planned stuff and production stuff. None of
Yeah.
this other stuff is real.
Yeah. And so that's why we don't need the other participants. We
Yeah,
like if we really pared it down, it should be those women that you named. That we don't need the fillers. We actually don't need Duffy. We don't need British. And so obviously, but it's not going to do that because they need to have the drama, or they
Right.
won't have a show, or they really won't have a show. Because those girls that you named, they don't have an issue with each other. Well, Malaysia and Brandy did, but other than that, they've been around each other for years at this point.
Right. I could kind of even seeing Angel Brinks being on with all the other girls because
Yeah.
she at least has a story. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
But everybody else, I mean, they're just kind of just there. I mean, we have Jennifer's love story. We have Angel Brinks and her baby happening. We have what is it? Brandy and her cancer stuff. We have Malaysia and her going through being a single mother again. We also have Jackie going through the fact that Doug is working again. Like these are real scenarios that
Yeah.
we're going through. I could even slide in Brooke because she's about to go through mother, having a baby again.
Right. Right.
But everybody else, I mean, I just don't see it.
I mean, you have to have a kind of a magic that works. And a lot of this, the filler people, they don't have established relationships like the other women do. Like I said, you could, especially as it pertains to Malaysia, you could see
Mhm.
her instantly get comfortable when she's around Jennifer, Jackie, Brandy. She's much more comfortable around them. And the other ones, they just don't know as well. They just don't
Right,
know them, you
right.
know?
Prosperity, the girl said, when I watched it, I knew SoDebNair was crying like a big baby because he's so happy for Brandy. And Miss Drea, we get in here. She said, okay, as much as we've been not liking the sisters, I'm going to have to take their side on this one. Brooke and Duffy were wrong. We're going to get there. And Karan said, keep the sisters as well.
No, 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 no. Nobody wants the sisters. Nope.
Chi-Town, listen, this is the last Brandy sled I'm pulling up now. Okay.
I actually agree, but we all have our favorites, and this is SoDeb, so be
And
it.
to me, she has a story. Like there's an actual story here. Outside of Malaysia, there's still a story.
But we've
So,
seen the story. We've
well, we
we've
haven't,
seen the
we haven't,
story.
but we haven't really seen this story because I mean, she has talked about it, but we're actually watching this play out again because it's real life. It's happening,
I
and for
understand
people,
that, but so
and
Deb,
to me,
we
I'm
have
just saying
seen the
for
story. It's like when you keep
well, I
saying
mean,
about Malaysia.
we've seen people having babies on, we trying to have babies. We've seen
Yeah,
people missing their husband. We've seen all this stuff before. So I mean, it's not like it's an
but
irrelevant
but this
story.
is the only story that really we have seen of Brandy's. And just like you say about Malaysia, about we see her going being a single mom again, but this is the same thing. It's whether she's dealing with it currently, a current scare, or her previous scare. This is her storyline. This is what her storyline has been. Period. Is her cheating
Okay.
husband and her having cancer. That's the truth.
Tomato, tomato.
Look, you know what? Look, let me give her some credit. The new thing that we haven't seen though is her recipe book. So if she actually does a cookbook, then that will be something new.
And she's going through losing her father too, so that's different.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
So there's that. Uh,
Okay. All right. But again, it's like a lot of sympathy, it's a lot of violence in poor Brandy's life. I'm not saying that to make light of it. I know it's heavy stuff, but it is, when we have these like trips and stuff, I do like to see them have fun.
yeah,
We know they all have drama in their real life and things that they might be sad about, but my goodness, I just want them to have a good time.
I wish they would have kind of had this like at the end of the trip though,
Yeah, me
because they were
too.
having so much fun together without it. Besides, with the sisters, they were having fun.
Right, and
Um,
that's why I was saying, like, I don't know, I don't want to jump ahead, but did you find out from production that they made the sisters come? Like, the only time that they have a problem is when the
so
sisters are there.
so let's get into it. So the sisters come in and they sit down. They actually sit here and watch them celebrate Duffy because she tells the girls that she's going to keep DJing. They're all excited for her. Nia
Hmm.
gets up to make a drink, and the question happens of she asked them, what did they do last night? And they was like, we went to sleep, girl, but you didn't invite us to go out. So,
Right. Right.
but Duffy was like, well, I text y'all to invite you out. So production is who told Duffy not to invite them to the thing.
Oh, that's whack.
Yeah. So that's why all this
So so
unnecessary drama is
so
going
so
on.
she said, I mean, of course, like if you're invited to something and somebody uninvites you,
Right.
then that's gonna the next day you're gonna have some drama for sure. But so she didn't want to uninvite Nia.
No, that was a production thing.
Wow. Okay.
So, and I guess she kind of called it out. So they were on Twitter going back and forth. Brooke and Nia was going like clashing on Twitter.
I like Brooke
Um,
though. I do.
I'm like, listen, I don't know. Let me go. Like I said, it was the 4th of July. I don't know where the fireworks was even at on Twitter. It was on outside my house. Um, because Brooke and her, they were going on, but Nia she just had receipts for the stuff she was saying though. And so that's
Okay.
where it became oh God, like maybe she might not be wrong. Um,
But what were her receipts about? About them participating in this trip, or what? What was she talking
yeah, like
about?
the receipts were like basically they were just kind of picking on them. They weren't really like doing it. They keep bringing up this thing because even when Duffy she addressed, so Naria asked her, what is your issue with me?
Right.
And Duffy doesn't have an issue with that girl. Like we haven't
Yeah,
seen him
she
have
said,
an issue.
and she said that on the show. She
Yeah.
said, she goes, I was talking about one of you. I didn't say both of you. I don't have an issue with her. However, I will say this, like, my real life sister and I are
Mhm.
not very close, but I would, if you have an issue with my sister, you have an issue with me. We have an issue,
Yeah.
So, and that still stands. So, I mean, the fact that they are so close like that,
Mhm.
they see each other. Like if one isn't going, then of course they're not going. And so I think, and she corrected Duffy, which I found annoying. I'm gonna still call her Naria, but she said it's Noria. Girl, who
Oh yeah.
cares? You over there,
Listen.
you know.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know. I'm like,
I
I
just
don't even know if I'm saying it right, but listen.
she corrected that. But first of all, they've been saying Naria the whole time,
Yeah,
even last season, and then all of a sudden because she was upset, she corrected Duffy and said it was Noria. Nobody
yeah.
cares. No, still nobody cares.
But I think that their biggest issue is that Duffy is kind of playing like a backseat producer.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's kind of like making these things happen that are not really happening.
But she kind of
Um,
did that on her other season. That's why I didn't like her.
yeah, that's why I was just saying it earlier today in the chat that
Mm-hmm.
I'm in. I was like, that's why I didn't like her before.
Yep.
Um, and then also Brooke kind of shocked me this week too because I'm like, well, why did you throw that drink?
I think that's because that's how she gets down. She gets
But they
down like
weren't
that.
even. But they weren't even arguing with her.
But she was mad. She was already mad. She didn't like that girl. Once she did the post, Brooke was done. Like she was done. She didn't like them, and that's why she said it's a hard no. She doesn't like them.
Well,
Period.
because she said so. Maria said that this is high school shit to me. And
Yeah,
Brooke was like, well, I mean, you mad because you ain't in the clique or something like that.
and she was right. She was like, it's
Yeah,
only high school because you're not in the clique, and so now it's high school to you. And I
but
bet you if they were in the clique, she wouldn't feel like their arguments were high school.
the thing is that none of it had to do with Naria though. It was with Nia.
Yeah. But then Naria, once again, she goes back and forth and argues, and Noria sits there and kind of backs her sister instead of seeing the bigger picture. Because I mean, she should have just said, "You should not have posted that," and that's it. I would have got my
But no,
sister together.
you're still talking about Nia though. We're talking about Naria and Brooke.
That's what I'm
They have no
saying.
issues.
Oh, no, they didn't have an issue, but I don't think
She didn't
I
post
think
nothing, so it had nothing to do with her. That's what I said last week. I was like, maybe we shouldn't have Nia because it'll make it a little bit more interesting because at least and Naria is a basketball wife, so it
But I
makes
think
sense for her to
that
be here.
Brooke probably does what we do is lump them together.
Lump them
So
together.
so she doesn't like Nia, so she don't like Naria. She doesn't want to mess with either one of them. They kind of cancel each other out. They're like the same person, and I think
Right.
that's what she was upset for. Like Naria was the one really talking smack. Not I'm sorry, Nia was the one really talking smack. and not Naria, but she sees them together. You
Right.
know, like she knows that
But on this specific scene, Nia actually
yeah,
wasn't saying anything
she
because it was
was. She was arguing back.
no. This is when Naria started talking because Nia stopped talking when Naria started talking, and
Okay.
she was like, what is your issue with me? And Duff was like, well, I did not invite you. She's like, I
Right.
just thought y'all was real sisters because if it's my sister, I'm going to assume y'all both not coming unless you're not real sisters, whatever.
Right.
And that's when they started kind of going back and forth. And I think that's when Duffy had kind of got up and then Brandy got in front of her.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a thing. It was like it was Duffy and Naria going at it. Nia was kind of
Yeah.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why is Duffy in that girl's face? Because she didn't even say like it wasn't that big of I did not understand Duffy this season. I mean this episode. I
Yeah.
did not. I
Yeah.
was
I
like, this
didn't
is
understand that
misplaced
either.
anger,
Yeah.
and I don't understand it. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
And when she I think when Brandy got in front of her, I forgot what she said, but then Duffy threw that paper plate at her, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is about to get nasty real quick.
Yeah. She said
And
that she was trying to get to the sisters, but Brandy kept standing in her way. So she
right,
just picked up the closest thing to her and just said boop and threw and threw the paper plate. And also
yeah.
I felt like Brandy should have just stayed out of it as well. She should have just stepped to the side. Like she wasn't in she's not the bodyguard. They have production. Let them
Well, the
talk
girl,
about it.
the twins are saying that the production has not protected them at all. Like
Oh,
when it
okay.
comes to these girls coming at them, so I think that's why
Okay.
Brandy got in front of her.
Oh, I see.
Because even when you look at it, when Brandy got in front of her after Duffy threw that plate, Nia grabs I think that water bottle, and
A
she was like,
water
"You don't,
bottle.
don't throw that on
Yeah.
me." And she was
Yeah.
like, "Well, she got a cup," and Brandy took the cup out of Duffy's hand, and then she tried to take the bottle out of Naria's hand, but Naria put it down. She's like, "I ain't gonna throw it at you."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
think that actually Brandy getting in the middle was actually okay for this.
Okay.
And then after that, that's when Brooke threw the drink on him. I was like,
Yeah.
Brooke, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, but once again, I thought didn't she have like a plastic, but she just didn't like those girls, and I just think that that's that. But she threw a
What's the
plastic thing
bushes?
at her.
Hey, busy.
Hey, busy.
I don't. When she threw the drink, it didn't make sense to me, and that's when
Yeah.
I kind of just started kind of side eyeing Brooke because I'm like, well, wait a minute now. Brandy really had the situation under control,
Yeah.
and after that, it was like all hell broke loose.
Right,
And
but didn't they say that they had the biggest issue with between Duffy and Brooke, and so those were the girls that were arguing was Duffy and Brooke. The other girls were
yeah,
not. So my thing is,
that's what Nia said. That wasn't Naria, and this is who they were talking to. Naria. It was like they misplaced their anger on Naria instead of Nia for some
yes,
reason.
I agree, but once again, she shouldn't be inserting herself. They just see them as one person.
Right,
Like Naria,
but
if nobody had a problem with her,
that's still
listen,
not fair though.
no, it's not fair. But what I'm saying is that Naria should just let her sister fight her own battles. Now, if somebody's going to attack her, I can see her having her back. But once again, she could have just pulled them to the side and said, "Why would you disinvite me? Because I didn't do anything to you. I didn't have an issue with you." And then they probably would have been like, "Well, my issue is not really with you. It was with your sister." You know what I'm saying? But I think the fact that she chimed in on once again what was Nia's argument, she should
Mhm.
have just stayed out of it. That's why they were directing it to the both of them and
But I
to
don't
her.
think that her question was about what was going on with Nia. Her question was about what was going on with her, like what was the issue with her because she's getting treated bad. And I get what you're saying that they're just lumping them together, but that's still not her problem. That's their problem. Maybe her asking that was like to make them look like yo, because even when Brandy had did her thing, she
Right.
invited Nia. She did not invite Nia. I mean, she invited
Right.
Maria, she did not invite Nia. So I
Right.
felt like she was like, it seems like everybody doesn't have an issue with me, but so what is yours?
Right. 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 But that's what she was saying. Like, I really don't have an issue with you. But she kept still talking about like, well, you shouldn't have not invited,
Yes, it is.
disinvited, me and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, girl, you knew you weren't going to come if your sister wasn't coming. Busy. I agree. Thank you. Yep.
I don't. I mean, I don't think it was okay.
What the girls did to them?
Because I think that she was trying to separate herself from the issue with her sister. Like,
She
tell me
was,
that.
but they're not going to see them separately. They just like they did the same thing on the previous season. Like none of them saw, with the one with Evelyn and OG and all of them. None of them saw them separately. They
Right,
all
that's true.
saw them together.
That's true.
So it's kind of like, girl, don't try to separate out now because you want to stay on the show. You should have done that at the very beginning.
Right,
Every event they attend together, everything they do together, nobody sees them as separate entities. So now that they have a problem with Nia, they have a problem with her. It's as
right.
simple as that. And they don't fit. They don't even fit. Look at them,
I
and then
still
look
I
at the
still agree
girls.
with I still agree with that.
Yeah, they don't
I
fit.
still agree with that part.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm like, if Brooke would have not thrown that drink, we probably would have could
yeah,
have just got out of there.
I think so. But I mean, you know how Brooke goes to 1,000. She was hot. She didn't like them.
Yeah,
And she said that she was like, it's a hard no. And
yeah.
just like, and
She's
I
like, it's
think
a hard no for me.
right. Right. And then Nia said, well, then it's a hard no. And then the other one was talking too. And it's just
Yeah,
like, girl, don't you see that they see you guys together? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
they don't want you in the group. They didn't want you in the group the last time either. So it's like, even though they put them as, to be beat up on, but girl, then why would girls, why would you
And
come
uh,
back?
and I will, and this is another point. Mr. Reyes said, but why are they more upset than Angel? And my thing is this
Yeah.
too. When Duffy couldn't explain her situation with them, she went back to that damn Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Duffy, they have already squashed this at this point. Like,
Yep.
let it go.
Yep. But Duffy wasn't there for that point. Remember, she had to leave early to go
Yeah,
do
okay, yeah,
do
yeah,
her
she was.
thing with French. Yeah, so she
That's true.
didn't know, and she shouldn't have said anything until she knew. To me, it says too much anyway. Like she should just stay out of it. Period.
Right. I don't know, but all I know is that my girl got cut and I'm upset.
Well, we don't know if she got cut yet. Maybe it just hit her.
I want to show this because I did pull this. I think she got cut more than one time.
Oh, what?
Yes, because let's pull this up. So this is in slow motion now. Watch Nia right here. She breaks this cup on the table. There's
Wow.
Brandy. And you see her like she's kind of sliding right here.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they threw that glass at her. So I
yeah.
think Brandy got cut more than one time.
Ouch. Well, again, she should have stayed out of it. I wouldn't. I don't
No,
know.
she was trying to, at this point, she was getting away from it.
Okay.
Because they had started, that's after Brooke threw the drink. At first, she had everything was under control. When Brooke threw the drink, all chaos happened. So there was no, like, she was trying to get out the way. Because you can see, like, on this, you can see, like, she's moving. She's trying to get out of the way. But Nia had grabbed this cup.
Right.
Because the people that I'm in the group with, they said, watch this scene very closely. So I'm looking at everything. And see, she did the Mariah Huck. She was like,
yeah, but also, like, okay, so Brooke maybe shouldn't have thrown the drink. Fine, whatever. But that's water, girl. You pick up glass. Why are you picking up glass?
Now, Brooke was on Twitter saying that she didn't throw glass at them; it was plastic.
There you go. That's what I'm just saying. Like
The girls are saying that that's not true. It was glass. So we don't know.
Okay. Can we? Did you get to that scene, or I need to go back and look at it because I don't.
I just recorded that part because it was so much happening so fast, and I have watched this so many times. I'm like trying to figure out what really happened.
Yeah.
But so I didn't get everything. I think I did. I think I actually deleted the last slides that I had.
Okay.
But I did want to show that part because I was like, that looks. I could see why Brandy kind of got hurt because it looks like she got cut when Nia broke that glass, and then when she threw the other one, they hit Brandy again.
On the way out. And I was just like, girl, how do you keep getting hit? Because she should have just stepped to the side like nobody else got hit because they were away from them. She should have just been away too. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I could have sworn when Brooke I know we don't have the video here, but when she threw the water, I thought it was like on one of the red red Solo cup.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Brooke had a glass when I seen it
Oh,
in the show. It was
okay.
she had some red. She had like some brown liquor in it.
Okay. And that's what she threw on her and not like a water bottle or something else?
I thought she just threw the liquor on her.
The liquor. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
I didn't see the glass. So I don't know if she did, but then but the twin was saying that she threw the glass first. So I don't know.
Okay, okay. But even if she threw the glass first, girl, just work your way out. Like at some point, what I was really annoyed with, and I think that's why I can't watch like the bad girls clubs and all of
Mm,
that stuff, like the things on Zeus. I can't really get into those shows. Like just it didn't even have to be this serious. When Duffy kept saying, which I was annoyed with now, knowing that it wasn't her house. When Duffy said leave, they should just left. And she
yeah.
was like, I'm still gonna go put on my bathing suit and I'm gonna go twerk. Girl, shut up. Like just no, you can see that this is not
But the
going
thing
well.
is, Sandy, how you gonna tell me to leave out of a house that's not even yours?
She meant off the trip. So whether it's on the house itself, at that moment they were filming in the house. So just
Right.
leave there. So just leave. If she doesn't
Everybody
like
keeps
it.
saying they heard the glass being thrown, but are y'all talking about the glass that Brooke threw or the glass that the twin threw?
I heard the glass when the non-twin twin threw it. I heard the glass
Yeah.
then. I didn't hear it before.
I didn't hear no glass. I just seen the liquor thrown on the
That's
twin.
what I'm saying. So she
I
didn't
didn't
throw
hear
a
no
glass
glass.
at the girl. Like I mean, she should have. I would have. It would have been better for her to throw that water. But I mean, she didn't throw the full glass on the girl so that girl could get cut. You know what I
Right.
mean?
We never seen a glass when that liquor hit them.
Yeah. No. 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 I only saw the.
Oh my God.
the liquid that came out. Yeah. What happened?
Brandy should have sat down. See, this is why I don't. Brooke was sitting on ready. Tia and Tamara were acting bad, talking about twerking all over, but got
Right.
baptized by Brooke and Bob to go plates by Duffy just said. This that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I don't think that Brandy wanted Duffy to fight.
Yeah.
And again, she had it under control, but when the stuff started being thrown, Brandy was trying to get out the way.
She shouldn't have even.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
see, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, and I know that you disagree, is Brandy often used to do that in the previous season, which is why it was
Malaysia.
annoying.
Right.
Yeah, like no, Brandy just
I
would
said with
kind of be
Malaysia.
like, oh yeah, with Malaysia, yeah.
Yeah.
But Brandy should have just stayed out of it. Period. I don't care if production wasn't protecting them. It's not your business. It's not even your fight. I don't care. Why are you standing in between? You wouldn't have got hit. Just move and let them, like the other girls, move and let them fight. If that's what's going to happen, let them do it.
I did like that Jackie was like, Angel, get your ass from over here. Right.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? At least
Jackie knew Jackie already knew was about to go down.
That was a rare moment of Jackie clarity. I was like, what?
She was like, I've already done this with Brooke before. Bitch,
yes.
Get out the way.
Get out the way. Right. I loved that she said that. She was like, I don't want anything hitting you and the baby. Like, exactly. Like, have enough common sense to just get out of the way. Like, it really was not Brandy's job. Just get out of the way.
Right. I did drop the link, y'all, if y'all do want to come up here. And I'm going to defend Brandy to the end until we log on. Okay.
I'm surprised Incredible Hulk Brandy didn't rear its head. That's what I'm surprised about.
Well,
I don't think she's trying to fight.
The only reason why she didn't was because it wasn't her argument. She was just in the way, like she inserted herself. She didn't turn Incredible Hulk because she wasn't the one arguing.
Yeah. But she should have been Incredible Hulk. You're going to get in the middle, block all the shit. Block the shots, block the glasses, block the liquor, block every damn thing. But
she was
I
doing
am mad at these people for making us be on the side of Air, which is the sister.
I was upset about that too. Okay.
I didn't hear it. What happened?
She said she's mad that we had to be on the side of them damn twins.
Yeah.
The Air. They're normally Air.
Yeah. I mean,
and we ain't here windmilling for air. Like what?
Right. And we didn't get to this point, and I wanted to really get there with you too, so Deb, because you and I have gone back and forth about Malaysia and Brandy, confronting Shawnee and Tami about being like, you're mean to us. That's exactly what those non-twin twins said. And so can you see it now? Like it's
they said to who?
the non-twin twins said that to all of the girls, that they're being mean. You guys are being like mean girls. But that was
Oh yeah,
that was
they said
Brandy and
they're being
Malaysia's.
cliquish. Yeah,
Yeah, and that was
but they were. But
Malaysia
I
and
think they.
Brandy's fight.
So okay, so let's talk about some of the stuff that has been said after this episode was over with. So
Okay.
what they were saying last night is that when Brooke, British, Brandy, who else is new? Is that it?
Angel.
They came back. Angel's not a part of that. So the
Okay.
three, they were saying the three of them when they came back to kind of for their vendetta.
So wait, Brooke, British, and Duffy came back.
And Duffy. I'm sorry. Yes.
Duffy. Okay, they came back for
basically
like,
because they only had one season. They were coming back to kind of start their own clique because people were saying like they like the Outcast clique. They was making fun of it.
yeah, it's true.
But they were saying that they were coming back basically to make so that they can come back another season, basically.
Okay.
But they said that when they came and they were calling around asking on dirt for all the girls or whatever.
Who was calling around?
All three of them, Brooke, British, and Duffy.
Got it. Okay.
I have some recordings. I'm trying to edit them down because I didn't get everything, but I'm gonna pull what I can pull. I'm gonna pull what I can pull so you guys can hear some of it.
And this is who talking?
These are the twins. They were on Twitter Space last night.
Okay, got it.
Oh, I'm blurry again. Let's ride with it. So they were talking about lots of. They actually talked about OG last night, and I want to play that.
Okay.
Because that was really interesting. Because they were saying that when they came on, they were really like trying to be Team OG, but OG was bullying them. Like, and they went into a like description about it.
Okay.
So I want to pull some of that stuff, but I didn't get a chance to go through all of it because I was kind of listening, trying to do the review and everything else. So I'm gonna pull it tomorrow so we can talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. But that's so interesting though, SoDeb, because that's what we have been saying the whole time.
Yeah.
She was doing that to all of them, honestly, by even recording conversations. Like, it was just a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she did. Nia said last night, which I'm so glad she said last night, that OG edited those audio files that she played.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I'm not surprised.
She said because she actually has audio files too, but because of her contract, she can't play them because she's still contracted to VH1.
I see. Okay.
So it was a lot.
Who thought OG didn't download those files though? Who thought she didn't?
Let me tell you something. People trashed me all over the internet when I was saying this. I said because it doesn't make sense for us to listen to OG's recording because one, she's conscious that she's recording, so she's going to give us like good old Angel OG, and I'm just going to ask questions and bait these girls. It didn't make sense.
Right. Agreed.
I believe she was bullied and all the stuff that happened, but I don't know who thought them damn messages was going to show both sides of her she only had one side to her argument, so why would she show what she did when her argument was they did things to her? That right. Made no sense for people to believe in the first place.
I agree.
They was talking about how OG was like she would take their chairs from them, like she was being a pure bully to them.
Yeah. And you saw that she just wasn't doing it to like the older cast members. Like she just wouldn't, I think she kind of, to me, that seemed like high school. She was hurt that she wasn't in the clique. So so she just kind of avoided them and then would kind of storm off to her room and stuff like that. But those non-twin twins, I could see that for sure. She was doing to them what she was complaining that the other girls were doing to her.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's basically the hazing that they do to the people that come on the first season.
Yep, that's right.
The same thing that we all have been saying who actually watched the show.
Yeah. We have been saying that for years now, from the beginning.
And once she found out those girls wasn't on her side, she really was mad. And And I was with OG, but she still, I don't know. Can't get with this. You not flawed because you got a point. No, you're flawed. Everybody got flaws. We don't know these
Yes.
people. We cannot be just on the bandwagon because we like somebody and they have a point. Yes,
Right.
everything that was done, but she also did things to make some of the stuff happen.
Yep.
And correct. I don't remember Jackie claiming them girls are like her girls.
She did on that
But
season.
she
She was
did.
when they
Did she?
first came in.
But I
Yeah.
mean, but this is Jackie though, y'all. Everybody's
Right.
Jackie's girl. Remember,
I was about to say
Megan was her
No,
everybody
sister,
belongs.
and Megan was like, I don't even really know Jackie like that.
yeah,
So,
but we know that all of these kind of quote unquote reality show, because we learned that for Roja, was that when Nene said that you might not even know these people and
right.
they need a an established cast member to bring in the new girls. It's kind of like didn't Cynthia bring in Portia, and they didn't really know each other like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it kind of was that the twins were attached to
Hell,
Jackie when they
Ashley
first
brought
started.
in Candace
Yeah.
from Potomac.
Yep, that's right. They all do that. But that does not mean that they are really good friends like that. That's just how
Yeah.
they introduce new cast members onto the show. But
Yeah.
still, even when they came
Drew,
on, yeah, even when they came on, I still didn't like the non-twins. So
yeah, because Drew and Sonya damn sure ain't friends.
They are not.
And that never
exactly.
was.
Exactly.
And then Nene bring on Kenya.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yep. That's right.
yeah.
So are you going to play the recording, or you weren't going to do that?
I'm gonna do the recordings tomorrow because I gotta break up like the actual stories that I have the full stories for.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give like half the stuff and then it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so you want to do this again at the same time tomorrow?
Yeah, that works. That works tomorrow, 8:00.
Okay.
At 5 your time.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then also next week we're gonna be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because we have 2 episodes next week.
It's 2 episodes. Yep. Which, so I'm just curious though. So your overall, when you said that you had more tea that is changing your opinion, whose opinion did it change yours of? Was it Brooke's and Duffy's?
I just thought that Brooke throwing that drink was unnecessary. I didn't
agree.
understand why she did it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm like, I
Well,
mean, they had it under control. It was okay, and then she do that drink, and it was like all hell broke loose.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
it did.
understand why she threw it. I'm sorry
Yeah.
because we're grown, we're an adult. You talk about having IVS and all these things. Girl, go sit down and prepare your incubator. Like, come on, she is like one of the oldest cast members. Like, you got kids that's in their 20s, girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Sit it down, sit it down. That was not your fight either. You
Right.
put yourself in that fight.
Right.
If Brandy
Well,
can't break it up, you can't throw a drink.
Right.
but she kind of was in the argument on the Nia side, because Nia was the one that said that it was Duffy and Brooke, and Brooke was the one that showed the message. So
I
she
understand
was
that part, but it wasn't as much as she made it seem.
no
To the
agreed.
drink throwing, I don't see how that went from she saying something and you answering her to you throwing a drink, just like Duffy throwing that plate. Cause I don't care what you threw. You throw
Yeah.
something at me, it's a problem. And Brandy ain't gonna be able to stop me from getting to you because that's what we don't do. Your mama taught you not to throw things when you was a damn child.
Right.
That paper could have cut her. That paper cuts her just like goddamn that glass would.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not with none of that. Don't start. No, won't be none.
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like once again, personally, if we dial it all the way back, when Duffy said just leave, they should have just left. It clearly wasn't going to get better. But Nia was yapping about twerking. I'm going to put my bathing suit on. I'm going to go twerk in the thing and all that stuff.
That's
Like every
because she knew
time,
it wasn't her house. So.
yeah.
That's why she did it. But even when she said that, Duffy was like, "Well, then keep that energy, And then Brooke,
Yes.
and then
Thank you.
but then Brooke was the problem, because then Brooke started that. She was like, "Well, if it's hot," because it was like Duffy was responding to Nia, and Brooke was responding to Naria.
Yeah.
And it was
but
like
but
it was
but but
chaos.
it was like but it was
Chaos.
like right, but it was like through Naria was she also addressing Nia? It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, I don't think that Brooke knew who was talking.
right.
So,
She probably doesn't know them apart. Like I told you, they
yeah.
just seem like one person, and that's the truth of it, for real, for real. You
Yeah.
know. So but and does that is that fair? Absolutely not. But we do it all the time. We've been doing it in our
Yeah.
reviews. You know, like
Yeah.
you'll be like, oh, they weren't there. I was like,
Hold
yes,
on,
she
I'm gonna get
was.
something else if you're gonna charge me for.
You know. But yeah, it's hard to kind of separate them, and they they arrive together, they leave together, they're always together, so they see
Yeah.
them as, if I have a problem with one, then I have a problem with both,
And I
basically.
mean, Duffy kind of even alluded to it, like, if y'all sisters, like, I think y'all together.
Yeah,
So
it's true. It's so true.
Miss Dre said, but leave and go where though? Even if they said, okay, we'll leave, it would have had to be a few hours. That wasn't going to stop them from throwing it. That's true too.
No,
And
that's not true, because you
they would
said
have to
that they
wait
had
for,
you said that they had a hotel room, so they could have just gone back to the hotel, child, and
but they
just
would have
moved
had to
on.
wait for them to come to take them to the hotel.
But still, I mean, the house looked huge. Just go away from the situation. Get out of the kitchen, is what I'm saying.
But
If it's
that's the thing. Why did they have to get out the kitchen and Brooke not get out the kitchen? It's like either way, somebody was gonna be wrong, and that's why the drink shouldn't have been thrown because
Agreed. That's a
either
good
way,
point.
it was gonna go down.
and I wonder
Yeah,
if there was something that was cut out that we missed and why Brooke threw the drink.
right. And
Because
that could be
it
too.
just came out of
Isn't it
nowhere.
always?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it after our review, because I can't
Oh no, I
recall.
watched it like a million times. With the way that it's cut, there was nothing that was said in between then.
Okay, so it
So
must, but it must have been something, because why would she just do that? That
yeah, it was
doesn't make
like,
any sense.
I'm like, what, Brooke? Like, why did you throw that drink?
Right. Did she say in her tweets? Did she say anything?
She said that one of them girls' husbands is over in the Philippines having sex with men.
Oh, what? What?
Listen, I
And
had to
that
pull it up
is
because
that because that the husband plays overseas basketball?
listen, I'm going to pull up all the tweet stuff tomorrow because I know I was watching Richie Scott today. He couldn't find it, but I screenshotted it
Okay, got
because
it.
I was like, she's
Wow.
going to take this down, so I need to have it on deck.
Right. Right. Did she take it down? I'd be surprised if she did, because she's
I
always
don't. I didn't even go back and look because I already screenshotted it, so I
oh
have
wow.
it. But
Wow.
they were reading the hell out of each other yesterday.
Ooh, yikes. And you
I
know
mean,
what?
the Twitter show is better than the actual show.
Right. Well, just
So,
because those non-twin twins have the freedom to speak more
yeah.
than on the show. But I'm
And she
curious
said that they're
though.
not. She said that they're not even getting paid.
Well, yeah, because they don't really even have speaking parts. This is the most we've heard and seen them
I'm
in
about to go,
any
y'all. Somebody
episode.
won't stop calling my phone.
All
Love
Okay.
right.
y'all. Y'all be safe.
Okay, you too.
Thanks for joining
Bye.
us. And they were also saying something
Can
else
you hear me
about.
so good?
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said I'm about to go. Somebody won't stop calling my phone. Love y'all. Y'all have a safe week. And see
All
You
y'all
right, bye.
next
Love
week.
you.
too.
All
Okay,
right.
All right, baby.
bye-bye.
Bye.
You better, Lola.
They were. What else was they were saying so much stuff. Like I can't even remember everything. And I was like, I just need to pull it up, do a whole nother show with this because
Yeah.
this episode and that episode is two different things.
Yeah. And I'm so curious though, like if so do you think that those non-twin twins know that they're not coming back next season?
Oh, that's what I was about to say. So they were like, she wouldn't really say, so I don't know because
Okay.
she was saying something about. I'm gonna get
Oh,
straight for this. Basically, so Angel Brinks is leaking. It has been leaking some stuff. That's what she said yesterday. So I can say that because she said it on the Twitter Space Live
that Angel is leaking stuff about
in the
the
blogs.
season?
Yes. So
Okay.
Angel's the one who put out that they were not coming back next season,
Okay.
but she was saying yesterday that that's not true.
Oh. But they don't need to come back. Like, even though they have this conflict, we don't need them
I don't
at
honestly. I
all.
don't think that they're coming back next season. And this was another thing that we were talking about was that next week is the sister's last episode. They were playing that like you can't. They were fiddle faddling with that, but I think it's for they because they can't say.
Okay.
But from what was leaked, like this was their last episode.
Because because of the fight is they get kicked off because of the
Yeah,
fight. Okay. Well, I mean, she should have
'cause-
got kicked off for just throwing that glass. I mean, I don't think, she should have not have picked up
but
that glass.
you know what they're going to do.
What?
Well, Evelyn threw a bottle, and they always go back to Evelyn. Evelyn threw a bottle, and Tami was beating up people, and
Right,
they
right,
always
right.
go back to that.
Yeah, they do. You're right. Yep,
I'm like,
it's
dude, that
true.
was like years ago.
But also, not only that, they were main cast members. These girls are
Right,
not.
right,
They are disposable. I'm sorry, but
right.
they are. I mean, they bring nothing to the show, and I'm not even interested. I hate to say it. I'm not even interested in learning anything about those girls. They just don't even fit the cast at all. You
Yeah.
know?
And yes, just simply tune in tomorrow because we're gonna get into this a little bit tomorrow.
And that's what I was saying.
I'm going to find out what all I can say.
Uh-huh.
And then tomorrow we'll talk about this.
Yeah, and I will say that that's what I was saying earlier when Angel and Malaysia were on stayed on the bus for the camel trip. I feel
Hmm.
like Angel was being, she does this with the girls. Like she does seem to be a little messy when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like she'll
Yeah.
say certain things or she'll say similar things to different people at different times. Um and I don't really like that.
Laugh gags and gossip said that's exactly what I was going to go to. Evelyn.
Laugh, gags, and gossip, but Evelyn was a main character. They're not going to get rid of their main cast members. They're not.
So y'all, like I'm a part of a group. So I got some behind the scenes information. So I'm going to just check and find out what I'm allowed to talk about, and then tomorrow I'm going to just talk about the stuff that they allow me to talk about. But I know a lot
Got it.
right now, so
Yeah.
I definitely want to share if I'm allowed to share, or at least to share what I am allowed to share with you guys. I just want to clear so I don't mess up my sources.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that makes sense. But I
Yeah,
mean, it just seems like to me, like, regardless of what happens, if that is the truth, you know, they're kind of being messy on the sides. Like, that's unnecessary too. Like, if that's the case, we don't even need to have Angel back. Like, we don't need it.
I will say that production has been the biggest problem for them, though.
Okay.
And they did say this on the thing yesterday. They changed production 3 times during the season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, and then I think this last production that they have really like are doing stuff that don't make like it doesn't. It's what's making the show not authentic.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why we are loving the moments when it is authentic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, when we have the moments with the ones that have been on for a while,
Yeah.
I feel like those are the most authentic moments. And I will say too, like it does even read that way for me with with the other ones, the three that we name, I mean the four that we just named.
Mhm.
So, Brooke to me seems kind of like the most authentic because she's a straight shooter. And
Right.
then Duffy, British, and Angel,
Mhm.
ah,
Yeah.
I don't know about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. It was a lot. It was
And I want to
big.
say so much, and I can't really say anything. But
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I wish that they wouldn't have brought so many of the one hitter quitters back at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, I think maybe also because they have tried to have like the ones that have been on the show longer
Hmm.
back, and like for whatever reason that just didn't kind of pan out with the newer girls as well. Because I think we're always going to have that issue where if they bring the older cast members back that have been on there longer, like
Hmm.
main cast members, then the ones that have been on there a shorter time, they're going to have an issue with them and feel like they've been left out when all in all truth, they really are left out because they don't have the history with the other women. Like
Right.
it's harder for them to connect and make kind of like a magical show. So I don't know
What's
if
one
that's
you
going to
do?
work either.
I understand the whole Brooke British and Duffy get like click
Yeah,
because it's like,
and
listen, we
and
don't.
and Angel too, right?
Well, she's not really. Well, I guess her too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's more of Brooke British and Duffy though.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't even really add Brandy into it because she's not really into the like. She's more worried about her in Malaysia and the shit stuff she got going on. Like it's not really. She's not really a part of that. But
Right.
those three, like they were one hitter quitters when they came on, so
Yeah.
they have something to prove
Yeah, for
so that they
sure.
can come back. So I kind of understand it because it's like, well, everybody else came on and caused havoc and they stayed.
Right.
So let
Because
us come back and do it. Yeah,
right, but they wreaked havoc with them because they were major cast members at that time, and
right,
these guys were newer. So of course they're not going to shake up the they didn't there was no need to shake up the cast at that point. You know what I
right,
mean? But now that those people are not around, and probably will never come back, it's now an opportunity for them to come and do that.
right. And
Hmm.
it seems like Duffy is like the ringleader.
Yeah.
From everything that I've learned, it seems like Duffy is the ringleader of everything.
Right. And that's what you've been saying, that the focus seems to be a lot on her, but I don't see her as the main person. Like, and it's just reminding me of why I didn't like her. Like, when you're like, I'm really liking Duffy, and I was just like, meh, I can I
Well,
can
because it
take
seemed like she
her.
was so fun and stuff. Like, the first
Hmm.
few episodes, like she was fun. It was like, girl, let's do this. Let's have fun. Oh, I love this girl. And we want to do this. I'm over here for Angel and all this stuff. But
Hmm.
like now we're here and it's like, whoa, this is the same stuff we
Right.
seen when you came the first time.
Right. And that's why they didn't ask her back. So she's just reverting to her real personality. So I'm not saying that the girl's not fun, but like I just don't like how she, inserts herself into people's business, and why
Yeah.
and how her story changes sometimes. Like even her, if we focus on the DJ, I do think that she's really good at it, and I think
Right.
that's great. However, like I wouldn't keep wavering back and forth. I'm retiring. I'm not retiring. I'm retiring. I'm like, are you just doing that for a storyline? Because it just seems weird. Like it seems to me that's clear that she didn't want to retire. So why are we talking about her retiring for like 4 or 5 episodes, right?
Right. And then she's like, I'm not retiring.
Right.
It's like, we knew
So,
you
and I'm
wasn't.
just like, are you just doing that for the storyline? That's what it's now starting to feel like, you know?
Right. Laugh gags and gossip said, I know this Duffy's position too, but bring Tammy Rubin back and see how Duffy acts. I don't think that I don't think that Duffy's scared of Tammy. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
don't think she was ever scared of Tammy. I think people because of that thing that happened with them, but I never seen Duffy scared of Tammy. I don't
Yeah.
know where people get that from.
I think that they separated them. She wasn't afraid to, she stood up to her and she didn't back down. She,
Yeah.
but again, she had already had an issue with her because of the situation with her daughter.
Daughter.
And that was,
Yeah.
yeah. And that to me was way out of line once again. And I'll say
Yeah.
this, for, you know, again, because it's important. I don't care how young or how old someone's child is. You
Mhm.
don't talk about the kids, period.
Right.
Even if
Right.
you were going to help them on the low. It didn't need to be on the show. Her arguing back with the girl's mother, meaning Tammy, was unnecessary. But then talking about her daughter too, like she lost me there. So and she kind of, now she's not talking about someone's child, but once again, she's still kind of in, like, she doesn't know when to shut up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I don't like that. I don't like that about her,
Yeah.
and once again, when she gets confronted, she does not handle it maturely either. Like, I felt like
Right.
she was getting way too kind of loud and turned up for this particular episode, instead of saying, like, I made a mistake, I did feel bad, so I did re-invite you. However, if somebody uninvited you somewhere, you're probably not going to go out on the second time. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So but she was like yelling, and then so she was like, well, why are you yelling? And she was like, well, why are you yelling? Because you're yelling.
Right. Right.
Right.
Well, it's just, I mean, I think this is what, and see, again, this is what us as real fans of the show don't want to see.
Yes, we don't
You
want
know
to
what I'm
see
saying? Like,
this.
we enjoy the
Yep.
actual real storylines of the
Yeah.
show.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And the real relationships. And instead of having these like manufactured ones. And I thought that that's where they were heading because they were doing so
Yeah.
many outings together and stuff.
Hmm.
But like I said, for me, it was odd that Duffy would even bring British to that meeting. Like that to me seemed odd. And maybe it's because they are, kind of in their own little clique, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just like, it seems like they're just clicking up for like just to solidify their click on the show so that
On the show.
they bringing them back.
Yeah,
And to
absolutely.
me, it's gonna be almost like another OG situation where it's gonna be like people don't want to watch it
Yeah.
because now it's getting fake.
And now it's getting fake, and it felt fake to me during the whole OG scenario. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It
yeah,
was
that's what I'm
that's what
saying.
Yeah, that's what made it not work, was that we remember the real relationships. And so we would see it like Shawnee and Evelyn had a real relationship, and then the other girls really didn't. You know what I mean? But I didn't mind like Kristen, I didn't mind like some of the other girls because they were trying to make
Right,
real relationships. But again, it's hard to do when somebody, when you've been friends with somebody for like 10 years, and then somebody new comes in.
right,
You guys already have your inside jokes. It's kind of like what Malaysia and Brandy said when Brandy said, we have a lot of inside jokes with some of these girls in here,
yeah, right.
right, when they
And see,
made up.
that's why that's like for me, like for next season, I would love to see Jennifer and Evelyn and Brandy and Malaysia, Jackie, and even Shawnee, all
Yeah,
them together.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
those are the core people of those franchises.
yeah. And those are the ones that actually have real relationships.
Yeah.
They do.
And even though Brandy didn't start off on this season,
Yeah.
Brandy was probably the most impactful newcomer on that franchise because she was
Okay.
Malaysia's friend.
All right.
Because even though Jackie and Malaysia were friends, Malaysia really, I mean, she was probably better friends with Dre than she was Jackie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
'Cause remember that one season, Dre had to make her be friends with Jackie again.
Right. Right. Well, that's because Jackie was being super duper like drunk and annoying that one
Yeah,
particular season. And she just didn't want, she was over her. She just didn't want to be bothered. Yeah.
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 And she
Because
had brought British and Sunday.
yeah. And she brought British and Sunday. But that was when she was like that was at the peak of her over the topness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like she has mellowed out throughout the years,
yeah.
She's kind of like, the Mrs. Garrett of facts of life. You know what I mean? She's turning into that now,
And
so
like even with this episode, like it made me really like Jackie a lot more. Like it reminds me of she's kind of mellowing out because she's kind of taking her place in the circle of basketball wives at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
This is what we wanted to see from her. We don't have to hear that we know that you've been married for 26 years now,
Exactly.
but now
Exactly.
we're hearing your real experiences. And I like when she did the podcast to bring the girls together. Like
Yeah.
she's taking the role that Shawnee probably should that people want Shawnee to take. It's like
Well,
it's more
she's
of the
but she's
huh?
also taking the role that suits her age. Like, we
Yeah,
don't want
that's
to
what I'm
see
saying.
her turning up and twerking. We want to see her be like an elder, basketball wife who's still currently married, and take these girls, it's just stay out of their love lives, but take these girls and kind of make a family. And like she said, like it's a sisterhood,
Right,
where I was like, Jackie, you are the auntie at this point. You're not their sister, but okay.
right,
I'm like,
right.
go on ahead and be the auntie. But yeah, it is that thing that bonds them together. They've been doing this show with each other for many, many years outside of the, like you said, the one hit wonders.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So and it's crazy because I'm like it's so crazy because like as we've been doing the reviews, we're like, oh man, we really liking them.
Yeah.
And then it comes to this, and it's like, man, like maybe this ain't it, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, that's, I mean, in all honesty, so Dad, like that's really what all of these shows are. It's not really reality,
Yeah.
reality. It is, but they do manufacture a lot of times, especially like Basketball Wives. They will manufacture some of the drama, but did they do and say certain things most of the time? Yes, they did. But they still edit it and clip it together.
But I think the difference with them is this. When Malaysia brought in Brandy, like they were actually real friends.
Yeah,
When Jackie brought in British and Sunday, like they were actually real friends.
yeah.
Um, who else was it? When Brandy brought Duffy, they were real friends. Like that's what it is. I think that now it's
And
like, well,
and Malaysia, and weren't Malaysia and Bambi real friends too?
and Bambi, yep, they were real friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're actually really bringing in their real friends on the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, with the Miami crew, they were not bringing in real.
They were, Jennifer and Evelyn were real friends.
No.
And
But they
and
was
and
they started off in the beginning though. I think the only real friend that was brought in was Tami because she was friends with Shawnee. But Mika Claxton was not a real friend.
no, absolutely
Keisha was
not.
not a real friend. Kenya was not a
No,
real friend. None
no,
of
no,
those
no.
were real
Not
friends.
that, not any of those girls, but I'm talking about like the main ones, because Ev
Yeah,
basically brought in her friends. She brought in
yeah,
Susie. She brought Royce rather, was the only one that was not
a
their
friend. Yeah,
friend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The rest of
but
them
I'm
were
not talking about
actual
like when they
girlfriends.
first started this season. I'm talking about like when they started bringing the girls after the first season.
Yeah, they weren't real friends.
Like
No.
the LA cast has really brought from the when they bring in the new girls, they really have a relationship with the girls that they're bringing into the show.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought that Duffy and Brandy had started out being real friends, but once again, they don't seem that close to me anymore. They were talking about sister this and sister that, and so I just wasn't sure like what happened now, because they are had been solely focused on Malaysia and her. But I thought that the reason Duffy came
To
on
me, I think that
was
Duffy is the issue between them, and we were talking
okay,
about this in the group or my group that I made earlier today. The
okay,
season that Duffy came in, Malaysia did not want Duffy there because Duffy
yeah,
was causing an issue.
yeah.
And even on this season, she said that she hopes that she doesn't want Brandy and Malaysia to make up. She
Duffy
said
said
that.
that.
Yes. She said because she doesn't want to ruin all of her new friendships which
Oh,
is
right, she
all
did
of
say that.
Duffy's new friendships. Those
Yeah,
aren't Brandy's friendships.
yeah, that's true.
And she also knows that if Brandy makes up with her, that's going to kind of put a wedge into what her plan.
But what I'm saying is that they were still closer, so that we didn't hear her being all broken up, or Brandy being so upset about her losing her dad with Duffy. So, but I thought that they were extra close, because like I pointed out before, like when it all came out and they were like in that one fight, Duffy went over to Malaysia. She did not go over to Brandy,
Right.
to
But that's
calm her
because
down.
Duffy's playing the field right now. She's trying to keep her spot.
Okay, so she's trying to be like across the board, like friends with everybody across the
Yeah,
board.
because I think that's what I learned, throughout this week is that Duffy is playing a game that is messing up things.
Yeah, yeah. It's
It's
going to be
not.
interesting to see how this kind of turns now that they've had this altercation. Like, is
Yeah,
this going to like tear them apart, or is this going to like bond them kind of together?
because Nia said, after Brandy and Malaysia made up, they went and argued right after that.
After Malaysia and Brandy made up?
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
She said they went upstairs and argued right after it.
About what though? See, like I told you, I
I
felt
don't
like
know.
Brandy wasn't taking accountability for her part. I still think that she's upset more than just their dad. What I thought that they got closure on and what they addressed was her behavior towards her dad. But I still felt like they had issues. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, I'm sure they have a lot of issues.
Yeah,
And laugh, gas, and gossip. I think Duffy's end goal is to come back next season. That's it.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think that she cares about any of those girls. I think she wants that check because one, we see her man is pressuring her to quit her job.
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to find other means. I think she even said on the last episode, I'm still going to work. I'm not a girl
Yeah.
who can sit home and not work. So she's trying to figure out her other avenues of work.
Yeah, and I really feel like, I mean, if she is trying to find a more stable living, this is
Mhm.
one, because you know that all of those girls, like even Malaysia included, like, you know, you film for however many months and then you go away and then you can come back, so you can
Right,
kind of build a schedule around that, you know.
right,
Whereas, you know, if you're going on tour, you don't have any say on what dates or any of that stuff. You just
right.
have to, you know, and especially if you're not headlining the tour. Like French, he could say, but she can't
Right.
say. She has to be available when he is ready, you
Whenever
know?
he's ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she's basically promoting herself. Listen, I want to start this album. So now
Yep.
we know all about that.
Yeah.
She's on and she's talking about you know, she's starting these beefs and she's positioning herself to be a main cast member, basically.
Yeah. I can see that. That is really what it feels like.
Yeah.
However, I don't think she's a main cast member quality. Sorry.
I don't either. And she can't compete with the main cast members of the show.
Absolutely
Thank you,
not.
Shay B, for the super chat.
Yeah. I agree with you, so Deb. And she could be friend, like she still like feels to me like a friend of the cast. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like she
yeah.
doesn't seem like the main person. I don't care how many, you know, cast members she buddies up to. She still seems like the friend, because that's how we met her. Like if they would have just brought her on as like, you know, and she meshed well with the girls as like a main girl,
Mhm.
then fine. But she really got washed out and overshadowed by Tami during that season, you know?
Well, because she came in the wrong way. Because when she
Yeah.
came in, once she tried to force herself on Malaysia, and Malaysia wasn't having it.
Right.
And I think that she thought, because the same thing that Drea thought when Brandy came on, she
Yeah.
thought that because she was friends with Brandy, that she was going to be automatically friends with Malaysia, and that just wasn't what it was.
That wasn't what it was. Yeah.
Right.
You
And
can't
when
you can't
Brandy,
just assume that. You can't assume that for real.
right. And when Brandy came on, the same Drea thought the same thing, and Brandy said, "No, I just met you like a few weeks ago. Like this statement,
Right.
and but as time went on, they became friends, but it was authentic, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Like,
And
and
then they
that's,
got tired of her.
yeah, but I
And I
think
think they
that's
got
what
tired of Drea because of what she was treating
Brooke,
Megan.
Megan. Yeah. Megan gave it to her though. That was kind of funny. But I mean, at that point, Drea was all the way over it. She just was getting that check. She really
Yeah,
wasn't trying to contribute. She wasn't interested anymore. Like in the beginning, you could see her really, you know, trying to be friends with some of these girls. But it just, you know, like at towards the end, she was just like, whatever, peace out.
yeah.
You know.
I think she has some resentment towards Malaysia and bringing on Brandy.
Maybe, but I'm just like, you know, but sometimes if that's your close friend, obviously you're going to be closer, you know?
Right.
So maybe they were friends. It's like coworkers, right? Maybe you're friends at work and you eat lunch and stuff like that, but you're not trying to spend time with them, like for
Right.
real, you know,
Right.
like in the
Like, girl,
real
when these
world.
cameras cut off, I'm not talking to you at this
Right. Exactly, because it often seems like that for most of these girls. It's like once they stop filming, they don't talk
Yeah.
to each other anymore. But like the older ones, not old women, but the ones that have been friends longer, like they
Mhm.
do support each other. You'll see them like somebody's post, or they keep up with them. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
You
Right.
know? So that's why it didn't make sense to me that Brandy and Melissa didn't keep up with each other. You know, neither one. You know.
I think there's so much that went on at that time. I've been making fun of the whole situation, saying that I feel like Malaysia sold Brandy so to stay on the show, but
But he did it. It was because of Brandy's slick mouth. Come on, so Deb, you got to make her hold herself accountable for some of her stuff. Everything is not Malaysia's fault. You know, like nobody. I don't care, even if she like, you know, geeked her up or whatever. She still ran her mouth and she's put herself where she is now.
I mean, because I've been going back and watching because we said we're going to go recap during the break.
Yeah.
I did notice some things that Malaysia did that I was like, why didn't she just say something herself?
Yeah.
She kind of gaslighted Brandy a lot of it, but
But
we'll
that's what
talk about it.
yeah, we'll talk about it. And that's what you said. But what I'm saying is, again, as an adult, nobody can gaslight me into
Right.
getting myself fired, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they agreed with me and then they pointed out something that I didn't like either, whatever, I still know how to conduct myself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I'm like, at some point, you're a grown lady. Somebody can't force you to open your mouth. So even if Malaysia didn't say something, Brandy didn't have to say it either. And I don't care if she's like, but that's my best friend. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, so one thing I was like, one thing that I seen that I didn't that kind of made me like really kind of look at it like a little like sideways was like the time that Brandy and Tami got into it on the beach.
uh-huh.
Brandy wasn't really paying them any mind.
That's what you
Malaysia's the
said,
one who she
but
had
that's what
pointed
you
it out to
said.
her.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, look, so we're friends, and
Mhm.
so if I see something that it looks funky to you that is directed towards you, I'm gonna say, you know what, so Deb, they're over there like laughing at something that it seems like is it about us or whatever. I'm going to say something to my friend, but I don't then expect you to go over there and be like, look, bitch, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like, no.
that's not what happened. So what happened was when she did it,
Mhm.
Tami and Shawnee noticed that they were pointing it out. So then Nate confronted them about it.
Okay.
So, but it wasn't because of Brandy. It was because at the time, it was just like the right thing to happen at the right time. Like she pointed out, and then when Brandy acknowledged it to Malaysia, they seen her acknowledging it, and so
Okay.
they're like, "What are
Okay.
y'all talking about?" And so then they got into an argument, and then they got into a
I
fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say again, like I said, I don't want to speak when I don't remember the details of that. Like you said,
Yeah,
like who brought in something first. Like I have to really rewatch it. I just remember what the final outcome was. I do recall them, being like, that's not like we weren't even laughing at you. Like I remember certain things like that.
right.
Where I kept when I was like, why are they angry now? Basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think that's why I thought too, maybe Brandy wasn't as good for the show with Malaysia because they do have such at that time they did have such a personal friendship,
hmm
so you are going to share more things and have inside conversations with someone that you call a best friend,
yeah. Because I mean, even after that, like to me, well, I don't talk about it now because there's a lot of points I want to bring up as
Okay.
of how Malaysia has moved through this. And
Okay.
I don't think that Malaysia is a bad person,
Yeah.
but you can kind of see that she's moved strategically through the show.
Okay, that's interesting. But I mean, and again, I go back to this point, and I will probably when we get to those episodes, is that Malaysia was on the show first.
Right,
Story, short and simple. She was on the show first. She brought in
right,
her friend, and so it's she it would behoove her to stay on the show. You know what I
right.
mean? Like she was on the show for years before she even came on. So that it was her show, basically. And so when she brought her friend in there, whether the friend stayed or left, in this case it happened to be Brandy, it's kind of like, okay, but I was on the show before you were even thought about, because
Right.
wasn't when they started the show, she was still married to Gennaro, right?
Yeah, she was married for the first season that Brandy was on there.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
So she was on for 3 seasons married to him.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So she was a basketball wife as well. We know Brandy is too, but she was on the show because she was a legitimate basketball wife at the time of the start of the show. So
But she also came in as not really like
a
a
main girl.
Malaysia.
Yeah,
Like she
yeah,
wasn't Malaysia then.
yeah. She was not definitely not the main girl. She was like
Yeah.
one of the young friends spin-off girls. The main
Yeah, like
people were
maybe
like,
we don't know if she's coming back next season type of girl.
yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
think when she beat
But
up that one girl, that's when it was like, oh, you bring her back next season.
right.
Who was it? Gloria?
Gloria, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I hated those sisters. They were good for the show though. They brought the drama, but I did not like those sisters.
You know what's crazy? I didn't realize that. Always thought that Royce was on that franchise for some reason. I don't know why I thought that.
Oh, really? No,
Yes,
she's always been a Miami girl. She was never they
I
that was one
know.
yeah, that was one person that they never brought over was
Yeah,
Royce over to LA. It was only Jennifer and Evelyn that they brought over to LA.
and Tami.
And Tami and Shawnee.
And yeah.
But Shawnee goes to both. She was a part of both. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Left, Gags, and Gossip.
You can just call me LGG. Hey,
Yeah.
Debonair, and hey. So I just wanted to. I've been a fan. I've been watching that show for years too.
Hmm.
And the thing with Brandy getting upset with Malaysia, I just feel like this. If I gave you an opportunity because she brought her in, and you pissed the boss off, it just think about it in real life. You're not going to say something at your job,
Yep.
your livelihood, your family, your kids, because this person, I don't care how tight you are, because they're mouthing out. You're going to be like, girl, like, I don't know what she expected her to say or do.
Right. And I've said that from the beginning. And I think that, so Deb, you understand that, right? But you just see it differently. You just, because you value the friendship more than, whatever her behavior was.
Well,
That's what the feeling I get.
that's not that for me. It's that this is reality television show. My boss is not working at the cash register with me if I'm at working at a restaurant, and
Yeah.
that's what Johnny's doing. So she has to be able to be a part of whatever, like the gossip that's going on. So
Hmm.
if you're acting like a bitch to me, then I should be able to say that because you're a part of the cast. You're not a producer at this point. You're our cast member as well. So that should have never been a thing for me. And even Shawnee said that was not the reason why that she got on the show, because Brandy came back 2 seasons after that.
Yeah, but when people don't want to film with you, you don't have a show. You're not a cast member anymore. And once again, like, even if that was, Shawnee, that, like, she's, has since explained it, like, she just does with her partnership with the network asked her to do. They asked her
Right.
to be on the show. She still was an executive producer. So whether they, wanted, if she was acting like a bitch and Brandy said so, that was Brandy doing that. That was not Malaysia. And I agree with LGG when I've said this many times as well. What was she expecting from Malaysia? What did she want her to do?
Malaysia
Even even
to
even if she was gaslighting her, what at that point, what would she want her to do?
I'm not gonna throw my friend underneath the bus like that. That's my thing. And I feel like if we already know this, like, one, I know my friend. Like, I know my friend don't have a filter, or they have a filter. So I'm not going to set you up to the point where if the manager wants to work at the cash register and then the manager being a bitch, then I'm going to say that. I'm not going to go to my friend like, I'm so sick of this person doing this, and this. And then the manager's like, well, what's going on? And I'm like, you're being a bitch because you're being a bitch. Like, that's what it is to me. Don't ask me no questions that you don't want the answers to. If you're not going to be a part of the cast, like, are you a part of the cast or are you not? And
But
to
wait a
me,
minute, so Deb, so when you say Malaysia threw her under the bus, how so? Because Brandy
because
was the one talking.
she kept on talking about the situation. She kept on saying that they're treating them like children. She said that they're treating them like they're not, like they're underneath them. Like she kept having the conversation with Brandy the
Uh-huh.
entire time. So
Uh-huh.
it was like eventually somebody was going to say something. Even when Jackie and Malaysia was on the show together, they had the conversation because Malaysia kept bringing it to Jackie,
Mm-hmm.
and
But so,
Jackie.
Debonair, okay, 2 points. I do agree with you about Shawnee. That kind of pissed me off too, because I'm like, Shawnee, you're part of the cast. They can't say anything about you. Everybody has to kiss and it's like they have to walk on eggshells. They can only say so many things. So to me, that wasn't fair.
Right.
She should be on equal, playing with level with everybody else. But then still, Brandy, I don't care. We're all adults, and how far you can go with somebody. I don't care
Right.
if my manager pisses me off or my friend is in my ear. I might go behind the water cooler and talk stuff, but if I have a family to feed, you're not going to make me disrupt my lifestyle because you don't know, you don't have what's that word? Emotional intelligence. I don't
Yeah.
care who you are. You don't sit up and tell the boss they're a B,
Right.
even if it's just common sense.
Right.
But how are we separating what the boss is if the boss is like a cat? I don't know. To me, I feel like
I'm just
it's
saying.
not fair to try to make them separate her as a cast member and a boss at the same time.
It's not fair, but there's always a pecking order with everything.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
know my place at work. I might get smart with my boss, but then I know when to be quiet. It's pissed off as I get. It's like, look, don't get insubordinate and get, Like you have to know your boundaries.
Right.
But y'all know also, I'm the person who will go off my boss too. So
Right. What and you said that, but what again? But once again, I think like even if it wasn't that one incident or whatever, we're talking about a show for entertainment and entertainers.
Yeah.
Even if it's just reality TV entertainers, there are certain things. It's kind of like the situation with Nene. You can't be so difficult to work with, which when you call somebody the B word or you call your boss and they see and production sees you talking to them like that, you get labeled as difficult to work with. And I think that's what got her off the
Yep.
show.
Hmm.
And it wasn't because Malaysia was gaslighting her. It was like, if they see you you're challenging the one of the EPs of the show, you are going to be deemed difficult to work with. And just like with Nene, you can't go to Andy Cohen, who is the EP of the show, and call him a racist and say you're being, all of this stuff when she's going to start getting labeled, which she did, as being difficult. And they didn't want to work with her anymore. They just didn't like her. It's as simple as that. So I
I'm
think
looking.
that's
I get what you guys are saying. You know
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but I still don't agree with it.
Okay,
That's all.
that's
I
fair.
mean, I definitely understand it. I just don't agree with it. If you're going to be a part of the cast, be a part of the cast. If you're not, then get off of the cast. Period.
Right, right,
Yeah.
Just like what she did now, when because OG had to come on and say something that made her get her ass off the cast. It wasn't calling her a
right.
bitch; it was calling her a colorist, talking about colorism, and she
They
Yeah,
got her ass
probably
off there.
should. They probably should have a line where either you are fully cast and you're
Or
not
you're
like an
not.
EP,
Yeah.
because isn't that the same thing that happened to Mariah with Married with Medicine? It's
yes.
like, same scenario. So maybe they should separate it.
But
Right.
that's what
'Cause-
I'm saying. I think where it happened, where Mariah's deal with production was different than what Shawnee was. Even though Mariah was the creator of Married to Medicine, she got the initial women on the show. She also didn't have a deal in place. As she did, she had paperwork, but she didn't have it the way that Shawnee had it. And I just think
Right.
that Shawnee had her partnership as a creator of the show, which she was. And she said she had a deal with them. She said, I don't necessarily like the drama and the arguing, but when the show at one point wasn't doing as well, they asked her to come on, and she said, if they ask me to come on, that's when I come on. I don't come on because I'm trying to be a cast member of the show. She's a creator of the show, and she's the one that basically had tied them together. That's my
She
understanding.
also said that she doesn't have the decision on casting either, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So if that was the case, I mean, to me, if I'm Brandy, I'm looking at you as a cast member because that's what you are. You're filming with us, and because you're hanging out with your friends, Evelyn and Tami. I
Right.
mean, it's all to me. It's also like a double standard too, because
yeah.
they calling everybody bitches, throwing bottles. Everybody want to bring it up. They're doing everything, and
Yeah.
they're allowed to. And I can't call you a bitch. Like, I mean, you're being a bitch to me.
Right.
So,
But the thing is that they weren't.
and
I mean,
Tami did say, she said, does Shawnee think I won't pop her ass because I will pop her?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
She started getting fed up with it too. But like you just said, Shawnee says I'm not in charge of casting, but I'm sorry to say this, but playing devil's advocate, but I guarantee you, if I'm in Shawnee's position and you call me a B in front of everybody,
Yeah.
my position, I'm gonna flex on you. I'm just sorry. It's ego, it's wrong, maybe, but that's what's gonna happen. It's like your services are no longer needed. Now, how about that, B? You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
just how women
But I would
are.
rather be called a bitch than say didn't get popped.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. I
I don't
I'm
want to be. I
sorry.
don't want to
Especially
get
by
popped at all.
Tami.
I mean, look. I'm going to hold my own in either scenario, but you're not going to just sit there and call me a B. You're not.
Right.
You're not. Sorry. I mean, and she was married to a legend. Brandy's
Yeah.
husband is not. Like, girl, no. And so if they were treating them that they were beneath them, they are.
I mean, she's not married to him anymore, though.
It doesn't
They
matter.
reconciled. They reconciled. Remember?
When
She
the
said
son got sick.
She said
Yeah.
she just said, I think last week, because I was saying after all that stuff that happened on Yanla, I was like, I know they're not together. And she said, after we're healing our marriage. And I'm like, what?
It's my Brandy.
Brandy, yes.
Oh,
Who
They
Brandy.
never got divorced.
No, they were always together. I was talking about Shaquille.
That's what I was
You know
Oh,
talking
that.
about.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, but again, whether they are, she's had a million of his kids. She has like 6 children with that man. She's going to
Right.
be tied to him forever, and he is a legend. And Brandy is not. She's
Right.
not. You know, I'm sorry. So I mean, you can try to say just because you're filming with me, we're on the same level, but they're not. They really are not. You know, or she would have been the creator of Basketball Wives.
Yeah, but you can also flip that around. I mean, if it was that big of a deal, she could have held the show by herself, but she cannot because she has that show and nobody watched it.
Yeah, but nobody wanted to see just her. We wanted to see
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
the
they
mix of
all,
that lifestyle.
and that's my thing. They need each other for the show.
Yeah, but some
So
of them are
if
interchangeable. Like Shawnee,
Yeah,
it's yeah, like okay, yeah, we need a cast, but we don't necessarily need you.
right.
I don't think that there has been from the Miami franchise and the franchise with LA. There has never been a duo like Evelyn and Jennifer, and there
Yeah,
hasn't been a duo like Brandy and Malaysia. It hasn't been.
Okay.
Jackie cannot hold that because Jackie and
No,
Malaysia, when she came on, they were not friends like that. They just met her, and they
right.
fought for the first 2 seasons.
Yep.
They just felt bad for Jackie every season. She
Yep.
was really Drea's friend.
yeah.
Yep.
So it wasn't that duo between those two. They held that show down. So look at your talent that you have and receive that. They came in and they were trashing them. They are kiddie and they have no substance. Like they were really downplaying them.
Yeah.
So I understand why she felt that way.
I
So
I
agree.
I'm
understand.
okay with the
I
fact.
understand it too.
So
Yeah, I
if
agree.
she feels like you're being a bitch, I mean, if you're on the cast now, if she was the producer, she was on the show, and she's holding my check and all this other stuff. Absolutely not. But you are a part of this cast, and this is This is for entertainment purposes. If you are being a bitch on the show, you are being a bitch on the show. I'm going to call you a bitch
No,
because everybody else,
But
again,
could be called
so
one.
you want to jeopardize your if I it
It's not
depends on
even
what
to
the
me. It's not about Brandy. To me, it's about Shawnee being on the show. If you're not going to be a full participant of the show, then get off.
but she's not going to do that because Shawnee is not going to mess up her deal with the production company over Brandy. She's not going to. They asked her to come back
So,
on
you're
the
saying that
show.
they want her on the show?
Yes, they asked. She said, "I am only on the
yeah.
show when they ask me to be on." Period. That's the only reason why she's on the show. She's not dying to be a cast member of the show. She said, "I'm only on the show because she created the show, so she's kind of like the anchor for the show. So when they ask her to come on, she will come on, you know,
She did say that. She did
yeah,
say that.
and she did. And so when she's not on, it's because they didn't ask her to come on. You know, like when
I just
the first episode of this season, she was only on there because they asked her to introduce like this is going to be this new group, and then she was like, "I'm out. I'm going back to Houston." You know, so that's why she was even on it on this season briefly.
again, my thing is if you're going to be a cast member, you're a cast member. You're a cast member, period.
Yeah,
But I
I
mean,
So
understand what you're
I
saying.
also I get what you guys are saying as well.
So
Yeah,
Deb, I totally agree with you because there's so many times. I mean, I agree. I just felt like Brandy should have you read the crowd, you know what you can get away
yep,
with and what you can't. But I agree with you because there's so many times when I felt like Shawnee was just acting like she was in charge, but even at the last, she was doing a party, I think for her son or something last season. And then I think somebody came and then she just went off like, oh, nobody can treat her any kind, it's like, I'm Shawnee. Do you know who I am? And it's like, I was like, girl, you one of them, but she's not. So
It
right.
was Jennifer.
you have to respect that. It's unfortunate, but that's real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was you talking about Jennifer.
Oh yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, Jennifer came, and then she was just losing it, and I'm like, so what? She came to I mean, you're filming a show, like, and
right.
she just went crazy, and I was like, girl, you know.
Like you came here
Yeah,
with my kids, and you talking about my kids. I'm like, you're on the show, Shawnee. Like, what
exactly.
did you like? You are not above the show. If you are, then get off. I mean,
Right.
I get that they're asking you to be on the show, but they're asking you because they want you to interact with the girls, and it's not going to always be your way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I see that.
And if you are, if that's how you feel, to me, that's unfair for the rest of the people that's on the show. Because I'm sure there's a lot of girls who want to call Shawnee. I'm sure that Royce had all kind of bitches to call
Yeah.
Shawnee. Okay.
Exactly. But she thought better of it, so Deb, and that's what I'm saying is, even if they feel like that, and I'm sure that the other girls may throughout the years, but none of them acted on it except for
Right.
Brandy, and
But that's
that is what.
because
And
that's
hold
also
on, hold
because
on.
Brandy did not have to deal with her. Brandy was on a whole different franchise. Remember when
Yeah,
Gloria slept with her? Was it Gloria? The other one slept with her whole with Shaq.
It
Laura,
They
was his
moved.
Laura.
sister.
They didn't kick her off. They gave her whole show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just feel like I hear exactly what you're saying. I just feel like, with this scenario, all of the girls at this point should know what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like whether she was on the show at its beginning or not, they know that Basketball Wives came from ShaunieONeal, and so I just feel like, if once Brandy kind of got, had maybe like 4 seasons of her behavior like getting kind of worse and worse, where it kind of made her seem like it was difficult. She was kind of labeled as difficult to work with. And then this season, we hear Malaysia say nobody wanted to film with her. When the rest of the girls in the cast can't film with you, you have to get off the show. You really are unnecessary. And it doesn't matter if they were, thick as thieves and the best of friends. Like at this point, it is a job. They are all getting a check. They're not sitting there like the non-twin twins doing it for free. They're getting checks. So either you're going to work with somebody or you're not going to work. And if people don't want to work with you, you have to go.
Yeah.
My don't want to cut nobody off, but when it
Hey,
came to hey, when it came to like Brandy being fired and then LaQuisha, because I'm not calling her Malaysia. Your name is LaQuisha, Miss Girl. That's what it is. That's what it's gonna be. When it came to her saying that nobody wanted to film with Brandy, think about what the cast was when that happened. You had Evelyn, you had Jennifer, you had LaQuisha, you had Tami, because Tami did stick around
and Jack.
after she was like gone. You had Jackie, and we all know Jackie after a while wants to be down with the cool girls or the cool clique or the mean girls. So if she gonna drop you, she gonna drop you if it meant being on somebody's good side. And then that was because I don't want to like get the cast wrong. When Brandy left, is that the season after that? Is that when we got to meet CC, Kristen, and OG?
So her last season was with her, Megan, Drea,
Yeah,
Tammy, Shawnee,
Angel,
Malaysia, and
the
Jackie,
Angels.
and Angel. The other Angel wasn't. Was she there for the second? Oh yeah, that was the last one with the second angel. Then that second Angel, yes.
Okay, so her
And
last
Brooke.
season.
No. Wait. Oh no, Sunday showed up there. So it was the two angels. Yes, it was the two angels, Tammy and Jackie, Malaysia, and Brandy.
No, because it was like Duffy came in, so that wasn't her last season with them.
Oh, Duffy was her last season. No. That wasn't even it either.
No,
That her last
Brandy's
season was
last.
it was the one with Sania. Well, she wasn't really on the full season, but she was still there. But it was
Okay,
Sania. It was Sania. I forgot the light skinned girl's name. Who Evelyn took her there to get that makeover. Remember that?
I think so.
That was Brandy's last time we seen her on the show.
Okay, so whatever her last season was, I feel like that was right before we got to meet, the people who would kick off this, who gonna come back, who not gonna come back, who got banned, all
Mm.
this situation. And I'm gonna tell people one more time, Kristen can keep herself off my screen. She gives nothing. Goodbye. Don't you come back no more. Okay? You could go stay home. It's okay. We don't miss you. You gave nothing. But okay, so with that season, with like this last season, because she wasn't on the full season, I'm remembering that now. She would pop up here and there, but you didn't
Right.
really see her. And then Lucretia did bring her to something, and
For
then
that
they
dinner
got
that
ups.
Evelyn had for her doing the embryos.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't even think you finished that out. But do what you need to do for yourself. But I don't think you completed that process. But go off, Miss Girl. Don't do it with Carl. Y'all see how he be treating women. Look what he said about Meg all the time. I can only imagine what he was saying to you. LaQuisha, we saw what you did that last season that, she was on slash not on. We also saw who the people were on that season. And the people wasn't going to fool with her because some of them already saw how the whole situation of her calling Shawnee a bitch played out as well. And nobody wanted to be on Shawnee's bad side. Granted, you didn't fire her. So I'm wondering how much of, that title you have as an executive producer is in name only and is it as a what they call a paper title than it is like a real title and you get the vote on who gets to come back or not. But it's floating around that OG is banned. I'm not sure why when you got other people on here who be doing worse than her. But I'm wondering how much power you actually have to fire somebody because even though it took y'all icing her out for her to get off the show, and I'm talking about Brandy still came back for another season. She wasn't on as much because y'all went film with her, meaning y'all iced her out and isolated her. And then the only person who would film with her didn't really film as much with her.
Well, Malaysia and Jackie were filming with her that last season she was on there. Remember, she actually sat down with Sania. She sat down with the Billy Joe. Was her name?
Bonnie Jill. I don't
Bonnie
remember this
Jill.
girl.
She was there with Bonnie Jill. She was there with whoever was still at the table. She was there with all of them. And then even after that, they had other things with just her, Malaysia, and Jackie because Malaysia, Jackie, and Brandy Malaysia and Jackie were trying to figure out what was going on because it seemed like, and I think what people are also missing is this. Do y'all even remember why they came over to the LA cast?
Because the show got canceled.
Because they canceled Miami because of Evelyn and Tami.
Yeah. They sat up there and were just like
then,
how they got mad at, because it was all around the same time. When Love and Hip Hop New York came out, and Chrissy sat up there and punched Kim Bella in the face and was kicking her in the face, just like that happened over there. The same thing was happening down to the Miami Basketball Wives. Tami fighting people, Evelyn picking up, because Shawnee loves to forget, Joe Bessie Forestes picked up a wine bottle, a heavy one, and tried to throw it at somebody and almost took your head off. Her hopping over tables, throwing bottles at people trying to fight Jen. The time she tried to fight Royce, and Royce grabbed onto her and was like, "We not fit. You're not gonna get me because I'm gonna get you." And they would have fought if security wouldn't have broke it up. There were too many fights. They were costing VH1 advertisements. Security wasn't doing their job, and it was basically in them now, or we continue to lose out on money. And Viacom still owned them at the time and still does. And it was like, they're not going to continue to lose out on money. Somebody has to go. And at the time, Love and Hip Hop New York was bringing in more ratings than the Basketball Wives was, and they canceled them. And then slowly but surely, Shawnee made her way over to LA because the sisters was gone. And then you saw a lot of the cast from LA kind of trickle out. So Shawnee started making her way. And then Shawnee felt like, the cast of LA wasn't giving anything. So she brought in the person everybody gonna tune in for, whether you love her or hate her, to see exactly what the hell Tami was gonna do over there. Y'all tried to get the younger audience with Megan from Bad Girls Club. And I was like, for a minute, it kind of worked because I was like, Megan, what basketball player you didn't have? I was confused about that.
I still don't know what basketball player she had.
I don't know who it was, okay? Maybe it was an overseas player. I'm not judging nobody. Maybe it was. I don't know. Then, once you got Tami up in there, and, other people were bringing their friends on, it was like, well, if Tami's over here, then I could bring my bestie Forestes. And at the time, I think all three of the girls, before Jen was even thought about, was cool for Miami.
Well, you remember that they brought both of them on the same. They brought Evelyn and Tami was on that same season, but Evelyn was only on for one episode.
Yeah.
But you made a good point when you were talking about Shawnee. What is her role and how much power does she have? But you have to think about it too, because you made an excellent point. Her telling her, your Brandy, your services are no longer needed. That was for effect because, as you know, well, they're in California. I don't know about other states, but we do have at will employment. But unfortunately, and I used to be a legal secretary, you cannot just, you can fire people, but there's paperwork that has to be done. And so now we see that probably didn't happen a lot, even though it's contracts and things like that. There can be some legal fallout, like we see with, Nene claiming discrimination. So some, her staying on the spot, you're fired. Well, then that has to still go through HR and legal. I mean, so maybe what you're saying is that's a great point. Like, really, how much power do you yield? You're not the person who can do the hiring and firing, just like you're not the person in charge of casting. So maybe that was just for.
But I think it was kind of a setup too. That as I'm thinking about it, I think that especially if they want to have Shawnee continue to kind of pop, where at that time have Shawnee kind of pop in and pop out, she probably didn't even want to reveal if she had the power or not. She probably so she could participate in the cast. And I think, and even though so she said, "Oh, I'm not the one that got you fired," that just made her trying to look like kind of nice and like, I don't have the power, but I'm here to tell you that you can say that all you want, but then behind closed doors she could have been like, I want her gone. And so once the paperwork was done, she was gone. So I just think where she was like, I don't have a problem with her, she had a problem with me. So she was probably trying to like play both sides. No one knows what that deal is, but I know that she says that her partnership it is strong. So whether she said, she has the power to or not, I'm sure if she gone to her partners and said, get that girl off the show, they would get her off the show, because it hasn't
But you
happened
remember Brandy was there a whole full season after that.
Yeah, but I think
the reason why they kicked her off was because of Tami.
Yes, but once again, I think that's because Shawnee probably has more power than we actually know about. I think Tami was like, I want her gone. We have had nothing but
back.
Yeah, and we've had nothing but problems with her. So I just think that I don't think that she has no power. And
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, you're right, because she definitely would have the influence to say, after all these years, who are you going to get rid of, me or
me or her? Yeah,
right.
The crazy part is that they shut down a whole franchise because of her.
Yeah, that's true, but it really wasn't her. Like, that it's still
no, it was because of Evelyn. Remember, she sat down with the pastor at the end of that season, and was like, I don't know what to do. And then they brought Tasha Marbury back that next season. It was the worst season they ever had.
Worst.
And I was like, well, they should have. And after that season, they just canceled it because people were not watching. The ratings were low.
Yeah.
So I think they gave LA like another season, and then they went over there. And I don't remember LA's ratings being bad. And then Tami, they
weren't.
They were not.
I mean, I don't want to cut nobody off, but LA seasons, the ratings weren't bad, and you could Wikipedia tell you what their ratings were, especially that's when DVR and on demand started to get really popular. The ratings weren't bad because you had Drea and her battles and conflicts with Jackie. So everybody was tuning in to see what her and Jackie was going to butt heads on that season, or if somebody else was going to come on and, play backup to one of them.
But once again, so let's correct that. So maybe the ratings weren't bad for the quote unquote LA seasons, but the other reality shows, like you mentioned earlier, Love and Hip Hop, they were outperforming them. They were doing better.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they were trying to match the higher rating reality shows, which at that time was Love and Hip Hop. So for LA, maybe let's just say they weren't horrible, but they weren't outperforming the higher rated shows of that time. And so that's when they were like, well, maybe to get our numbers up, we'll introduce some of the older girls. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's what's going on. What's going on, Mims?
Hey, Mims.
He said, of course, she has the power. Look at the nostrils. Um,
Well, I call her
but
Nostradamus, but I'll leave it alone.
that's the other reason why Brandy was mad, because she's like, y'all come over here trying to take over our show when y'all show got canceled, and it's because of them. And
Yes, but
it brought this mess over there, because again, had it not been for the fact that because they were holding at least a substantial amount of numbers, because they weren't trying to cancel them. It just wasn't as
right.
high, because Love and Hip Hop was new at the time. That's the only reason
Mm-hmm.
why.
Yeah, but
And
it's so
Love and Hip Hop.
interesting that you said that. How could you guys come over to our show? There wouldn't even be a Basketball Wives if it wasn't for Shawnee.
No,
It's that's her show.
No,
she didn't say how can you come over here. She said you had to come over here to our show. You
Oh,
little
I
yes,
thirsty
see.
sugar mama.
I
yes,
see.
You
I
go
see.
like
sucker for any reality show,
yeah,
because
but sorry.
Tammy was acting like she was doing them a favor. In
Right,
reality, they were doing each other a favor, because Tammy came over there to boost the ratings, but they weren't having an issue with ratings. They just wanted higher ratings. So
right, right.
it wasn't a big issue for them. They just wanted better ratings, because there were newer shows, which, and of course you should do that.
Yeah,
But the reality of it is that they were fine without Tammy and
yeah,
Evelyn and Shawnee.
And Jennifer.
And the other part is that they got canceled because of
yeah.
Shawnee, Evelyn, and Tammy. So I mean, that was the thing.
Right. Well, I just feel like again that franchise is her franchise. So
Right.
whether she started on the show or not, whether they wanted her there or not, that's still her franchise. That's her show. Period. So whether she mixed in or she didn't mix in, it's not right for Brandy to say we were doing fine without you. But girl, you wouldn't even been on the show. There wouldn't have been a show if it weren't for her. And in
Well,
fact, it
the only
wasn't.
reason
It
why she
wasn't
said that, only reason she said that was because of what Tammy said to her, though.
Yeah,
okay.
Tammy told
Okay.
her, my friend, your boss called me here to help y'all because y'all
Right.
wasn't getting it. And Brandy hit back with, we were doing fine without y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had to come over here, had to stress the had because y'all got y'all show canceled because y'all wouldn't stop fighting, wouldn't stop throwing stuff at people, which then we see this season, people just love to throw stuff. And, Brandy caught one to the back of the head.
Yeah.
Y'all love to throw stuff, throwing bottles, throwing glasses, uh, trying to fight people, jumping across tables. That's they count her running, Evelyn running across the table, one of the most iconic fights on reality TV.
It is.
Yeah,
And she, it is because I was
And
like, I always go back to that. I remember where I was when. Okay, listen, I used to bootleg cable back in my middle school days. Don't judge me, but we got VH1 and I watched her run across that table
Yep.
and tried to get at that girl.
Yep.
but
And that's
the reason why she said that, because she said that Tammy was signing up for any reality show, because she'd been on every reality show that she could be on. You little thirsty sugar mama.
But Tammy was
And
only
men they were.
but Tammy was only even on the show, whether she had been on every reality show or not, was because Shawnee asked her to be. Shawnee
right.
asked her to be on the show.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, no.
And then we saw how as soon as Shawnee did what she did down in Miami, start bringing people in, like her friends and everything. We
Yeah.
saw how that ended up playing out for a lot of people. Eventually, Brandy was off the show.
Yep.
LaQuisha was playing lackey to them, and
mhm.
Jackie was in between being a lackey and them calling her Wacky Jackie again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tammy eventually saw Shawnee for what she was, realizing she wasn't worth her salt in a friend. And we
Yeah.
saw how that played out, especially when it came to Tammy announcing the fact that her and Reggie had went and got married. None of them heifers was there except for
Jackie.
LaQuisha. And I
Yeah.
think she had already told OG, but OG couldn't make it because I think,
No. Malaysia was not there. Jackie was there.
okay, she had already told LaQuisha, but Jackie showed up.
She
And
never told
Jackie,
Malaysia.
I thought she did.
She only told Jackie.
No, she only told Jackie and OG. Those were the only
Yeah,
people that were her friends at
Okay,
that time. Yeah.
because I was like, LaQuisha, I felt like you popped up somewhere.
because
No.
she told OG that the same thing that we've been saying for all these reviews is that the same thing that they did to OG they did to her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They hazed her and she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And they were not her friends because she was mad because they were going to her comedy show and they were
Yes.
not laughing at those jokes. And to me, jokes wasn't that damn funny. So she was mad at her.
Tammy,
Right.
Tammy could I mean, I don't know if Tami is like stand up funny, but Tami got some good one liners.
Yeah,
And
she's
she do
funny. She
and she do
does.
well on the Miss Pat show. That's coming back and everything.
And the Bonnet Chronicles are funny when I
Yeah.
watch the videos. But I will say this as well for Tami, she wanted to get more support, and why she started to become unhappy was that she realized that even though Shawnee, you know she thought Shawnee was a closer friend, Shawnee and Evelyn were closer than her, and she did not like
Right.
that. So
But
she
she should have
noticed.
Yes.
known. She should
Yeah,
have known.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
because
she
remember she saw the footage, or I don't know how she found out, but remember I think it was Evelyn making jokes about her age or what she looked
Yeah.
like, and
yeah,
then Shawnee didn't correct her, but she laughed. That's what it
Yes,
was. So
it
it's
was
that's
almost
just
what
like
it
a
she
was.
Jennifer went back and told her, and she said that when Shawnee came to her thing and they played the footage back, when she made the jokes about Evelyn, she did not laugh. But when they
Right.
played the footage of Evelyn making fun of her, which was funny because Evelyn put on them bad wigs she had on the first season,
Yeah.
and
And
she
then
walked like Shawnee. It
yeah,
was
I was gonna say
funny.
then she was walking like Tami and had a
You know,
cigarette like
Tammy, it was
Tami.
funny.
It was funny.
It's not her fault that she's not funny to her. Like, just because you are a comedian does not, if you're not funny to everybody. So it
Right.
was like a temper tantrum that Tammy was throwing.
I don't
Yeah,
And
she was, but she was
I
like
want to read
why
this
wouldn't
real
you?
quick.
Okay.
Mem said Jackie solidified her spot as a top tier reality star when she ran over Angel's assistant and ripped that dress off in the middle.
Oh yeah, but she was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. It's too tight. It's too tight. Why is my
that
She was
bottles
like,
like
get
that?
this dress
Why
off.
isn't
You
my
did not
bottles
want
on
it
the
off. You
table?
want it
Oh,
off.
Oh yeah.
that was the
she was
height of her
ripping
meltdown.
dresses off,
Right.
her cognac bottles wasn't on ice, was
Yep.
ripping jewelry off. She lost it that episode.
She
Nope, I
like
think
that was at her height. And remember she fell down too?
yeah.
Remember she
Yeah,
was like
she
I think
rolling around on the ground.
And Sunday was there trying to jump
help
them.
her.
Yeah.
I think what solidified Tami also realizing, other than the fact that, it was Shawnee saying, I didn't laugh, and then, production, they always gonna get you together, because don't try to sit up here and lie on our show, because it's really more production shows than it is your show. Don't
Right.
sit up here and try to lie. You did, and we caught you, and
Mhm.
we're gonna play it for you. Because they did it to
Right.
the house.
No, she
They
told her
did,
that she told her that she didn't laugh. That she laughed.
Yeah.
She said
but
that.
they,
But and
yep,
so
they do it to
I
everybody.
think that's what Tami was upset about, was like, you're supposed to be my girl and you're supposed to have my back, and she was just like, I am your girl, but it was funny, and Evelyn is more my girl, and I think that hurt her feelings, and she was pretty much
Oh,
done.
that wasn't the situation I was trying to get to. I was trying to get to at that reunion where they start going back and forth about who was trying to have babies and who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Evelyn was like, well, you like, I think she called her old, and then was talking about, you said you didn't want to have no more kids. And I think this was right maybe after Tami had found out she was pregnant, because I remember when they announced it, because they were just coming from marriage boot camp. They were
Mm-hmm.
coming from marriage boot camp. She had announced she was pregnant. She was doing a lot of stuff with WeTV, because I remember she had to slap the phone out of Cat Lady 3.0's hand. And
Oh
if y'all don't
yeah,
know
she
who that
killed
is, that is
it.
Aubrey O'Day. But
Yeah.
she a cat lady. And I don't. After what she said to Pauly D, I don't care how you feel about the man. You just don't wish somebody would die. You
Yeah.
don't do that. But I remember Tammy slapping the phone out of her hand. Tammy was pregnant, and then Tammy had a miscarriage.
Yep.
And I think that was still playing in the back of her mind. So when, not Shawnee, Evelyn said something about it, and then, you know, she said, Shawnee, well, didn't you tell me that? Didn't you tell me that's what she said? And Shawnee just sitting there like, kind of agreeing, but not saying nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
Tammy looked at her, it's just like, oh, even if it's true, like whether it was true or not true, you going around telling my business like that? Like, there are some
Right.
things you don't need to go back and tell people. There was like,
Mhm.
maybe I'll do a story time on this on my own stuff, maybe I won't. But there was this person who just made like my senior year of college hell.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the boss of my boss, and I had to have meetings with him because I was on student government for that certain residence hall. Like, we would go into meetings to, like, one-on-ones with each other, and he would sit there and talk about everybody else who had one-on-ones with him. I was the president. My VP, he told me everything about her stuff. She wasn't like, I wasn't ever, and I mean something like the deepest, darkest stuff that I shouldn't have been told.
Yeah.
And to this day, even though me and the VP got into it, and I was like, I'm cool on you. I let well, their pronouns are they now. I let them know, this person, even though you think that they're your friend, they've told me things about you that you
Right.
would never ever share with me. I don't care, at one point we were cool. These are things you won't ever tell me, because that's how, like, I'm gonna take this to the grave, those things were.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never gonna tell nobody. When me and my friends talk about the situation, because we all dealt with it, because we all worked together and lived in the same building with this person, and we get to, like, how all that played out, I said, there are things about that person that I should never know. And I will
Mhm.
never, I don't care how great of a friends, I don't care if I think of y'all as family, I'm never going to tell y'all.
Right.
Because I thought that was some of the most messed up stuff you could do to somebody, to tell me their deepest, darkest secrets that I'm not supposed to know. And I let my friends know when we talk about this. I was like, I'm not going to repeat this ever in my life. I'll take this to the grave. And
Right.
that's how I think that's how Tami felt. It's just like, even though this may have not been like deepest, darkest secrets, why are you going around talking about me and my reproductive health with a person who, you know, we were we're not even friends, we frenemies. We fall
Right.
out.
Right.
Why are you telling her stuff about me? You don't tell me stuff about her. But that just goes to show, and it should have showed Tami a long time ago, Shawnee was never your friend. She
Right.
used you for what she could get out of you, and that was to have you act the ass and act the fool on this reality show to bring ratings to her show. Because whether the title is paper or not, or if she really holds some type of weight with that executive producer's title, these are her shows. She created them.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Shawnee was Tammy's friend, but she
I do
wasn't
too.
as good of a friend to her as she was to Evelyn. Evelyn is like
Right.
her friend, and Tammy
Yeah.
was her friend too, and
And
she
she
should
knew
not have
Evelyn
shared
longer.
that. Yeah. And then
Right.
what and I don't blame her. So she was kind of cold and aloof and non participatory towards the end because she was just writing out her contract so she can get her checks and then move on, and that's what she did. And she was just like, she said initially, she goes, I did it because I thought we were really good friends, and they were good friends, but Evelyn and Shawnee were just better friends,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they were good friends until, Evelyn popped back up on the scene, and then we saw how little, Shawnee and Tami were filming together, and
Yeah.
how little Shawnee would pay any type of attention. Not saying Tami was starved for attention, but you saw what it was like in a group setting. It was more of, if arguments were happening and people were getting called to the carpet, Shawnee would take up more for Evelyn than she did
Evelyn.
Tami, and
Yeah.
then would leave Tami out to dry. And we saw that at the that sit down that they all had when it was like Tammy's last season. We saw Tami was, gearing up to get the hell away from these people,
Mm-hmm.
because everything Tami wanted, like, let's be clear, everything Tami ever wanted in life when it came to her acting career and just getting all that together, it was coming true. She had the Bonnet Chronicles, the Miss Pat show, whether she knew it or not, was on the way for her. She had her it was like some type of drama series or
Mm-hmm.
movie on Apple TV, and she was like really getting into that, and just different stuff was popping off for her. Time is like, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but like all her like little guest star roles, not saying that, oh, she's just like a little actress, but it was just like a little one-off guest star role. All those episodes of those different shows start playing a lot around that time. So I was like, some good must be coming for Tami. That whole sit down to get back to it, when they were calling stuff out when it came to like the whole CC and OG situation. And you saw how that went. And it's just like, oh, okay. If it wasn't, obvious before, obviously Tammy about to be up out of here. Good for her. And then Shawnee don't really fuck with Tami like that. Sorry, I don't mean
Right.
to cuss on your platform, but it became very obvious in that sit down.
Yep.
But I'm just gonna jump in for a second. But if you guys remember when Tami first joined the cast, remember she had been a little down on her luck, and so
Mm-hmm.
debonair. Remember we were just laughing about the whole thing about I don't do food stamps and stuff. And so I feel like even from the beginning when she joined that circle, she was always trying to prove herself and be on. And I don't like to talk about different levels, but remember Evelyn had her little boutique, Shawnee, Shaq and that money. And Tami was on the heels of having been on welfare. And so I think early on, she kind of felt like she didn't fit in. And Evelyn didn't make it any better. And they were
Right.
very much classist and talking about their money. And, you could see that there was some resentment with Tami on that. And Evelyn always poked at her about that. So I think it was a lot of animosity and things that just built up towards the end. And she was really, really hurt when she saw that Shawnee was really closer to Evelyn. I think she was just really hurt.
But
Yeah.
the reality is that first of all, Evelyn and Shawnee were friends long before
Yeah.
they.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two, the first food stamp comment was about
With Jennifer.
her and Jennifer.
Jennifer, right.
She's never seen a food stamp. It wasn't even towards Tami. It was just like I never seen one.
Right.
Tami was just oversensitive when she came on because they hazed her like they hazed everybody else because Tami looked a mess. I mean, she did.
Yeah.
She had bad wigs. She didn't dress right. It took her like a good 2 or 3 seasons to even start dress right. But I think she didn't have the money to dress right. Once Tami started upping her game, Tami fell in line with the group. So that was it. I think when Tami and Shawnee fell out was, if you go back and watch it, after Tami said that she would pop Shawnee, that's when the dynamics changed.
And Shawnee knew it. You're not above getting popped. I don't care if your name is Shawnee, LaShondria, or Shawnice, or whatever your name is. You're not above a reproach. You get popped too. If it needs to happen, you can get it. Because for some reason with Shawnee, I call her Nostradamus is what I call her. Okay, that's what they call her anyway. That's what I call her. But for some reason, she thinks she's above. What can happen.
She is because she can be a bitch, but you can't call her one.
Yes, she is. I mean, she is above what it because she's an EP on the show.
Right.
That's the
She
thing.
yields the power.
She's the creator. She's the creator of the show.
Right.
The person she was married to is above any of their little side boyfriends, husband. Nobody remembers Tami's husband that Evelyn hooked up with either. Like nobody knows them, but we know who ShaunieONeal is. Okay. So
and I think she uses that. She uses that a lot. Like once again, I said she thinks she's above it, and some people feels like she's above it in getting popped. But let's be clear, you're above that when it comes to this show. Yeah. You're above that when it comes to the show out in the real world. And I think that a lot of them don't realize that you have the reality TV world where y'all don't ever come off as transparent because most of y'all aren't, and then you come up with stuff to fight about or argue about, so you don't have to be as transparent. And once again, I feel like y'all should do what the real world be doing. Well, what they did back in the day, you come on there, be as transparent as possible, and stop faking the funk. Because at the end of the day, when you start faking a lot of stuff, all your stuff gonna get spilled anyway. Especially in this social media age, and the fact that people don't like to see people be fake on a reality show when it's supposed to be reality, and a lot of them don't feel like, and I'm not inciting violence against them, that's not the thing. A lot of them feel like because they're on a reality TV show and they might be known to a certain group as the BasketballWives, and they might pop up on this billboard and in this magazine, y'all are above getting touched in real life, and that is not the case. If somebody feels some type of way about you and they ain't got nothing to lose, or they just feel some type of way and they don't like you, or they don't like your energy or the way you move, and they don't care about your little reality show, you're not above getting popped. And I feel like maybe that's what Tami meant. You can get popped, reality show or not. You too can get touched. And yeah, that might have been the downfall of
and you could be called a bitch too.
Yeah, you
right. but we all know this is manufactured reality because let's just be real about it. I don't, well, for me personally, I would not spend so much time, years and years, being with a group of women that I'm always fighting with. I mean, I would
Right.
want some peace in my, it's like after maybe a couple arguments or something, I'm done. I'm finding a new social circle and we're done. So this is kind of fake anyway. How many
Yeah.
arguments you gonna have about somebody? I mean, and still break bread with them. It doesn't, it's not reality.
I mean,
Right.
and the
I mean, it's a
reality, the
job.
reality
It's a
is for
job.
Tammy, she actually came out on top. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When you
And
look at
she got what she got what she wanted from the show in the
she's
Yes.
in
been
the
on
in the
reality TV
very
for,
end,
yeah, she's
because
been on reality TV since 1999, trying to
right.
get somewhere. So I mean,
92.
Yeah.
not,
No,
I said 90,
93.
I'm sorry, 92.
No,
So
93. I'm sorry.
whatever year it was, she's been on reality TV for a long time.
Very
So
Right.
long
she
time.
deserves to get what she got. She
Yeah.
finally got up out of it.
Yeah, and
Kudos to
Yeah.
her.
I think that's, to LGG's point. She said that, she had, like, well, she was like doing all of those little side deals and stuff like that. That was a check for her. Like when she said that, like I'm not going to I'm going to change my social circle. That wasn't her social circle. That was a job,
Hmm.
that was
Hmm.
her
Yeah.
check. And Shawnee helped her out, like
Hey,
you said
Nola, how
earlier.
you? Sorry, don't mean to cut you off. Hey, Nola, how you doing, Miss Girl?
So what I was saying was that, like when she, actually, said, what, I'm gonna kind of move away, this is not my social group, but she still got what she was trying to get from the show. And at one point, part of that was her friendship with Shawnee, because Shawnee helped her out during a tough time, like you said earlier. So she,
Hmm.
because of Shawnee, she at least was able to kind of get her career back on track, because we didn't
Right.
hear or
Yeah.
see her for many years.
Tammy, she spoke on like how she ended up on Basketball Wives. I what is it's on TV1. It's not unsung because that's for the music groups and like some of the movies and everything. It's it's a show where they be talking to the they talk to Tammy, they talk to
It's called Uncensored.
yeah, uncensored. She talked about how she ended up on the show. She and Kenny had divorced. Basically, she got left with nothing. Her mother was helping her take care of her daughters. She was working on I think she said she was working as an assistant or whatever on
Mhm.
in corporate America. And she did have to go on welfare because he left her with nothing and then he wasn't helping at all. And then the show opportunity came around and she was like, she admitted it, the wigs wasn't good, the clothes wasn't great, she
Right.
said what it was. And I was like, it takes a strong one to admit that your wigs and your clothes was not it, because a lot of people will go to their grave saying they look good. But she said it was a way, like you mentioned before, it was a job. It was a way for her to make money and get
Yeah.
off of welfare and get out of that situation. Because at the end of the day, her marrying a basketball player and him treating her the way he treated her and doing what he did ultimately screwed her in the end. Like she put a
Yeah.
lot of stuff on the back burner, like realizing that maybe Tammy would have done more acting roles if she hadn't married this man and had children. Not saying that they hindered her, but the way he treated her and the way he did her at the end of their relationship, kind of like it was, you could pursue acting with kids and you can see how that happens. It's not going to be a lot of money right then and there, or you can go out here and try to get it again and get back to the hustle you had before you were married and before you were on reality TV and take care of your kids that way. And it's just like it was like I appreciate, like Nola said, I appreciated her telling her truth because you learned a lot of stuff about Tammy that you didn't know, and it kind of showed you how it shaped her as a person, and kind of brought her like what we saw on our TV screens, who this person was at that time. And all like, even though people say you can't use your trauma to justify stuff, I'm not saying her trauma is being justified with the way she acted. It just shows you like everything she's been through, what that did to her at the like what it did to her and how it shaped how she formed relationships with other people and how she took that hazing situation. Like hazed or not, nobody wants to be hazed.
Right.
It's not fun, it's not cute, it's not a good time. And a lot of people, when you do that, a lot of people tend to feel isolated. Not saying that's how she felt, but that is why, when it comes to what it does to your mental, is why that is illegal.
Right.
On
Let me
top,
say real quick, thank you to Real Estate
yeah,
Inside for the super sticker. What's going on,
Right.
sir? Um, yeah.
I'm going to hop off, so Deb, but so we're going to look at the Twitter, the
Yeah, tomorrow.
the
Yeah,
okay,
tomorrow.
Noria or not
No,
Raya,
yes.
Naria and
Nor.
Nia.
Nia.
Okay.
Nia is the one who was tweeting.
Okay,
The sister was tweeting too.
Oh, I see. See, I didn't see hers. I just seen Brooke responding to Nia.
okay,
Mm,
So I'm going to go look
okay.
at all of them and pull them up so we can talk about those tomorrow. And I also have some audio from their Twitter space yesterday too.
got it. Okay, well, I will be ready. Thank you, ladies, for hopping
It,
on. So
Yeah.
it was
Deb,
nice talking to you.
you too. So Deb, I'll touch base with you tomorrow. And
Okay.
everybody, please give a thumbs up to the video. So Deb has had a goal of reaching 100 likes. We've done it before, so please hit the like button. Okay.
Hmm.
Night, everybody.
Good
Y'all like the
night. Bye bye.
night. Y'all like the video up and everything. I'm sad Brandy caught a glass to the back of the head, Miss Girl. I'm sorry about that. But I told you in my review,
I
stop
was showing
playing.
I was showing them this on. I don't know if you missed it, but I was showing them this. I think that she caught more than one glass.
I think
Oh
she did.
wow.
I'll slow this down.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I gotta watch it tonight. Oh my
She
god.
breaks this glass, but see, Brandy's right here. She got cut right here too.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, she did. I heard him say somebody got cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But they
the
also threw
sister
a glass at her and they hit her again.
in the back of the head, and she
Yeah.
was. So I was like, because you saw when they were carrying this, like, I don't like them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the people who do like them, but I
But
don't
I just
like
simply
them. I can't, because whether y'all like OG or not, the way they played her out last season to become flunkies and get in good with the mean girls over there to the other house, it's just like, what is this? What's going on? Like,
wait. What you said?
I don't like the sisters. And the quote
Oh.
unquote mean girls playing flunkies to them last season, because as soon as they hopped over to the other house and then came
Well,
back, it was
we're gonna get into that tomorrow because
okay.
they talked about that yesterday.
But
Oh, okay.
yeah, okay. I don't like them. There's something about them rubs me the wrong way. But the sister who got upset talking about, oh, this is high school, or getting mad at Duffy because, Duffy disinvited her, and Duffy basically told her, whether y'all like Duffy or not, I disinvited your sister. And then production rolled that back because it was clear as day. I don't want her. So she was talking about one specific person. And she said, I disinvited your sister. And I expected you to be worth your salt and be a good sister and not show up either. And she agreed. And I was like, then what is the problem? Because you
Well,
said
I
you want.
still look, we talked about it earlier today, but it does seem a little unfair that they just group them together. And of course, because they're sisters, I understand it. But it does. I think that she had a valid question with asking, like, what is the issue with her? Because it does seem like, well, they do have issue with her because she's sisters with Nia. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's a little unfair for her. But then when she went on live the other day, she was like, well, I mean, it's my sister, so I'm still staying by my sister. So I'm like, well, then maybe you shouldn't even ask that because.
Yeah. And that's what she
But so
said.
debonair, but just think about it. If I mean, that's even like with Evelyn and Jennifer. If they're a pair of freaking frack, of course people are gonna have a problem with you if that's your sister. I
Right.
mean, it's just kind of not that. It's again, it's not about being fair, but it's human nature because that's your sister.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the assumption is that you guys are going to be together on the same team. So that's normal.
And that's what she
Right.
said. And it was like, it was up to production to either say, no, that's not what you said, Duffy, or that's what you said. And they backed her up, and that's what you said, saying you specifically didn't want Nia. And then because you expect her sister to be her sister and ride for her, then of course you're not going to come. But when it came to them carrying her out, and Noria, I don't know the girl's name, but them carrying her out, she said, y'all cut me, y'all cut me. No, you didn't get cut. Y'all cut Brandy because Brandy was right there trying to walk around. Because once again, Brandy, you got to stop playing security, okay? They got security, and I'm sorry, girl, you caught a glass to, like, you got cut, and then you caught a glass to the back of the head because she picked up that. Y'all know how thick a whiskey glass is, and that's what it was. Picked
Hmm.
up a whiskey
Yeah.
glass and tried to throw it at Brooke, but I call British Brooke and Brandy B3s because it's the three B's. Tried to throw it at her, and Brooke was bobbing and weaving, and Brandy just so happened to come around the corner at that point and caught one to the back of the head. But the fact that they were like, "Oh, Brooke threw a glass at me first. She did it first." I said, "No."
But see, Brooke is online saying that she didn't throw glass; it was a plastic cup.
I was
Oh,
she,
okay.
and it wasn't even the throwing of a cup because they were
But I
saying,
will say, when we watched it, Brooke had a glass cup in her hand.
yeah, she had a glass in her hand, and it was just like, y'all. I went back so many times and watched it because I was like, I'm not going up for nobody throwing no type of glass at nobody. You could throw
Right.
plastic all day, but you can't
Well,
throw glass.
we never seen the glass. We just seen the liquid from the
That's the
glass.
thing. I said when you think about how long it took Brooke to come around that the island that they were on, she
Right,
did have a glass in her hand. I
right,
said you saw the liquid go, but you never saw the glass go. And I
right,
said the
But
way it went was she had enough time between, her throwing the liquid, Nia turning around and throwing that water bottle at her to set the glass down because you see on that when they did a wide shot, the glass is still on the table
right.
or the island or
I
whatever
don't.
it
I
is.
haven't seen it yet. But are we sure production didn't? Because production can edit and make things look a certain way. Are we
So
sure?
that's what the sisters are saying. The production they've had three different production groups on this season.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
They're saying that production has manipulated a lot of things because um, allegedly, because I don't know for facts, it's what they're saying. They said that the reason why that Duffy uninvited them to her show was because of production, and it kind of seems like that because Duffy was like, "Well, I felt bad," and like she just kind of started scuttlebutting around with the situation, and then she went back to those damn Instagram messages. I'm like, if y'all mention these Instagram messages one more time,
I'm sick of the Instagram
I'm sick of
posts.
hearing
Like,
about it.
let's it real quick. It's very
Y'all
simple.
all ate the unwed baby shower food. Okay,
It's
it's over.
it's not it, and I'm gonna just go back to it because I had to make a reply to somebody on TikTok where they were like, "It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It's not the meme. It was not the meme. That was the part that it was just like, oh my god, this is the worst thing you could ever do. Oh my god, this was terrible. It was shady. We all thought it was shade.
Right, we
It
little
was the
shady.
fact. It was shady. They could have
It
let something
was
shady go. Brooke was gonna let the shady go. She said, "When I see something shady, and I think it's shade, I'm gonna clock it and then I'm gonna address it." And it probably would have been,
right.
I'm gonna let it go. That wasn't the problem. Everybody has to realize that it wasn't the fact that it was the meme she posted. It was the fact that she went and added, and I'm getting some today. That
Yeah.
is the part that made everybody in the situation mad, is that you said, and I'm getting some today. The only thing you was going to was the gender reveal. So you was like really going at it. And the only reason, like, certain people are mad about it being shady and you
Well,
saying like
technically,
adding.
I mean, she didn't go to a baby shower, so
Yeah, she didn't go to a baby shower. I was like, the only difference was it wasn't a baby shower, it was a gender reveal. But
yeah.
Angel is upset, not at what was said, it's the situation. Because it was basically like you're being called out on your situation. That's why she's upset. Brooke, like
But
I said,
I said this earlier on the show today. I asked her because they was on the live yesterday or 2 days ago, and I asked her. I said, well, what was the point of making the comment? She said, unwed baby shower food is better than wed baby shower food because the people who's married have bougie baby shower food. I don't like that. She said I had better baby shower food when I wasn't married. She's like, we had the wings and stuff. They want to give you sandwiches. So I mean, and I think when Jennifer even kind of broke it down, it sounded the same way to me. It was like, well, you should have just said that.
I think that was also what caused. I was like, accountability. Like when I did my own earlier in the day, I was like, I said the whole basis of this episode was somebody not taking accountability, two
Right.
people at the end of the day doing too much, Brooke and Duffy. And I said it what it was, and I called it what how it was. And then somebody playing security when you don't need to play security. Let Big Steve and Big Hank play security. That's what they get paid for. And you wouldn't have caught a glass to the back of the head. And I was like, you should be mad at everybody in the situation and yourself, because did nobody tell you to play security? I said, the problem they ended up having with her was her not taking accountability for the situation. It probably
Right.
wouldn't have been blown out of proportion if you would have like stopped, thought about it, and stopped trying to push it off on everybody else. It was Brooke's fault, then it was Duffy's fault, and then it was the Peach's fault. I call Rockstar the Peach. That's what he is. That's who he gonna be. It's the Peach's fault. It's everybody's fault but your own, when you have to think about that you made a choice. Yeah, like as long as the food is like, don't invite me if the food is nasty. But if the
Right.
food is good, invite me. I'm still not gonna be shady towards you and throwing pot shots on
And
Instagram.
if you feel that it's so beneath you, just don't
It won't
go.
be.
Yeah,
Don't go.
and
But
that's
she wasn't. But she wasn't saying. So I mean, I guess with the explanation, it makes sense to me because it makes sense. But
it makes
she
sense.
should have
How to
said.
him.
She should have said that. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it was shady as fuck to me. Like I didn't like
Yeah,
it, and
Yeah.
I stood by that. But when she said it and she explained it, I was like, you probably should have just added that. Like I mean, because I mean that would have made more sense. It would have caused less
yes,
drama.
that's the thing.
But
And it's like, I'm not saying that, oh my God, this is the worst thing. Out of wedlock baby shower food and gender reveal food is good. I don't know what y'all talking about. That's some good.
So Debonair, that sounds really kind of juvenile and
That's some good
simple.
food. But
I mean, I've
but
been
you
to
got to look at the
places
type of chicks that you're
you
talking to, though.
but
yeah,
you can go to some of these 5-star restaurants and they can serve you something that's supposed to be foie gras and we $200 a plate with caviar and I'll be like, ugh. So yeah, I mean, come on
Well, look,
now.
but you got to look at the type of chicks you talking to, though.
yeah.
These is hood these is hood rat chicks.
Not saying they all hood rats, but you know,
I'm not.
they
I'm talking about this twin
Yeah.
girl.
they not twins. They
She like
one's
I'm a
older,
baby. I'm an out of way. I had an out of wedlock baby. When I had my baby shower, it was better food. Like this is the type of chick that we talking about. We talking to. So of course she's gonna say some shit like this because this is how she operates.
yeah, and it's just like ain't nothing wrong with that baby shower
And she
food.
was looking for a moment.
Yeah, we all know the baby shower food is real good, okay?
Yeah.
Especially when they're not married.
Hiccups.
And I'm not like down in teen parents, but let it be a teen parent. Oh, the food is gonna go off real well, okay? They gonna put their foot in that food, not
Right.
literally, but
And
figuratively.
sometimes they have the mothers and the grannies helping to cook too. So
Yeah,
what is the point, ma'am?
the food's gonna go off. That's not like
But
I
again, you
get
talking
what
about
she
look at the chicks that you talking
yeah,
to.
I get like I got what she was trying to say, but it was just like you didn't explain it that way. You didn't try
Right.
to. And I said honestly, all of this could have been avoided. The whole being disinvited and the starting at the table and the I'm gonna call big and small, because that's basically what it is. One's small, one's tall. It would have small wouldn't have been called a bitch. Okay, that's basically what it boils down to. Small wouldn't have got called a bitch if Nia, if you truly meant the apology you were trying to give, pulled Angel to the side like y'all eventually did and had a conversation with her and then went back to the table and left it as is, or if you would have just said nothing at all. But once again, I know what type of time you were on and I know what type of person we are dealing with when it comes to this reality show. So yeah, you were going to say something and you were going to throw pot shots at that lady in her event, whether it was a gender reveal or a baby shower. And now here we are, where y'all are dragging this out. I'm annoyed because it's like I'm sick of hearing about this stupid ass post. People throwing stuff at people. Brandy then got cut and caught a glass to the back of the head. And I was like, we not
Listen,
even
I said
talking.
my earring when Brandy got cut. I said my earrings out. I'm like, who do I need to drive to? What is going
I was
on?
like,
Because I know y'all ain't cut my girl. Okay.
I was looking at it. I was clutching my pearls. I was like, so you mean to tell me P Valley was was
Oh,
emotionally draining to me on
oh,
Sunday. I
Oh
didn't do
Lord.
nothing on Monday because it was National Barbecue Day. And then I came home and went to sleep because I got put to work instead of me just getting my food and being great. And then I wake up today to watch this show so I could take my notes and everything. And y'all just gonna throw stuff at Brandy? Do y'all know that I play the cancer card for Brandy and the fact that she been going through it this season. Don't you throw nothing at her. I don't care if you wasn't aiming at her or not.
I
I
was
don't care.
pissed.
I don't care if Brooke was bobbing and weaving and wasn't
Yeah.
gonna catch that glass to the face. You don't throw glasses at people. Plastic was
Right. It's
thrown at
just
y'all.
that's just yeah, that just should not even happen. Because I mean,
Plastic was
you
being
just
thrown.
somebody could lose an eye. It could be anything unnecessary. Just
Plastic was being thrown.
Yes,
At the
and
end of the
Nola
day,
Reeds
plastic.
again. You have to look at the chicks that you talking to. Because matter of fact, when I asked her this, they was doing Noria was doing the girl's hair. The girl was like, "Oh yeah, because I know exactly what you're talking about because I know my unwed baby shower, the people that I go to food, like it's the chicks that we talking about."
I'm gonna just say it. The
wait.
meatballs.
So what? Can you repeat it? So she said food at married couples is better, or
She said
food
the
It's
at the
married
worse.
people's food is bougie and the
okay.
unwed people's food is better. That's what she said. And then the girl was getting her hair done. She said, "Oh, girl, because you're right." And she went into a whole explanation about why the food is better.
I'm gonna just say this: would
And
you
then the
eat?
sister agreed with it. So all three of them was on one accord about the unwed food being better than the wedded food.
I mean, you not going like the baby shower meatballs. You don't want that with nobody else's event. You need that at a baby shower and baby shower alone, because that's the only time them things really hit like that. I have to agree with that part, but it's just like once again, girl, stop skirting accountability. Admit, like, own up to what you did is what they wanted you to do, and let that be that. And
Right.
like for the people who like really see it, because it's just like I've been to a few unwed baby showers and gender reveals and everything in my day, and it's just like, yeah, the food do go off, like we get what you're saying, but that's not the point when it comes to this. You hurt somebody's feelings. The peach got brought into it. I'm not calling him by his name. The peach got brought into it. That's who he is. That's who he gonna be. The peach got brought into it because this lady over here is heavily pregnant. It's a high risk pregnancy. She is up in age. I'm not like trying to be ageist or anything, but she is up in age. And when it comes to that, like her age, that's a and I hate that this is the word for it. That's a geriatric pregnancy. So even though she was already at risk with the tissue and all that stuff growing, she's also at risk because she is up in age, and pregnancy is a Russian roulette that you play with your life when it comes to bringing another life into this world. So no, Duffy wasn't gonna go over there and get her, bring her over so she could be stressed out. She went and got the other person who helped create that child and helped pay. Well, I don't think he helped pay for it. I think he put it all on Angel's dime. I'ma just say that. But she went over there and got him. And whether or not, it was woman's business or not, it was either go get Angel and stress her out and then have her go into early term labor,
Chris.
or go get the peach and like let it be what it was. And I was like, y'all say there's this happened and this happened and this happened. What got cut out? Like, what didn't we get to see? Because Angel says, well, y'all were talking about me and y'all was clowning me to him. I was like, when did that happen? Did I miss something? Did I skirt
Right,
over
Nola.
something?
And Nola again. First of all,
Yes.
you're from look where you're from, and think about the type of chicks that we talking about. You said it.
I always thought the food was good because they were good. Nola, we know. But I was like, when it
The
came to
fact
this,
that you said the pots of slinging is already an issue. Right?
Right.
Yeah, we know it's a difference. They ain't even said, they said sandwiches at a married baby shower. So wasn't no pot swinging for no sandwiches.
no. And I was like, how many married baby showers you've been to? Was it the palm colored folks? Is that who y'all talking about? Because I've been to married baby showers too. And if you got the right people cooking, then they still go off.
Right.
Not the promise
Well,
ring.
I gotta get off here because I'm about to go to sleep. I'm
Okay.
Okay.
crazy.
This was a great thank you for having me. I loved it. Thanks for the engagement.
Enjoyed
Me
it.
as well.
And
Thank you
y'all
for
make sure y'all
allowing
come
me
back
up on your
tomorrow
platform.
because again, I'm going to edit down the audio from the stuff that was on yesterday, so we can hear that stuff. We're definitely going to touch on OG.
Child, what happened to
And
OG?
they talked about OG. We're going to get into it.
When
I
are you
feel
going to do P Valley? Because P Valley just stressed me out. Yes, I mean, are you going to do P
You know
Valley?
what? I was supposed to be doing P Valley with Cups of Conversations. So let me see what we can come up with because we're supposed to be doing that together.
That
it was
one was.
it was
But
a,
I wanted to talk about it because I'm like, I want them to have that same outrage they had for that gay stuff, for the domestic violence and the R word
Wait, you said you want them to have the same outrage.
that they had the week
yeah.
prior to this week.
Who
Because
And
had
that
that's
outrage?
the that's
Wait, who had the outrage? What are you talking about?
a
oh,
lot
they
of
had
people.
all the outrage for the gay sex last
Oh
week.
yeah, a lot
Oh
of
no,
people.
we all pulling for Little Murder and Uncle Clifford. So what you talking about?
No, that's
I'm
not
missing something.
the that's
The
not the
internet was popping, it was locking, and it was dropping.
yeah with
But they
the
did not have no outrage for what happened on this episode this week. And I'm like, this
but
is an
that's
issue.
the but that's the whole situation. Like obviously we all peeped what was going on with Alicia, the stepsister, and the daddy. Like you saw that clear as day when she flinched
Right.
when he put his arm around her waist and pulled her close and she had a face. And I pointed out, I was like, when they did a close up of her eyes, I don't know if they told the actress to cry on cue or if the makeup was reacting, but it added something to it because she looked really sad and she looked like she was about to cry. It was pointed out and I was like, yeah, it's obvious. When it comes to the black community, you have a lot more grace for the predators that are within the family, whether they are, biological, we share blood family members, or how we black people do. We just be picking up people and saying, that's my cousin, that's my sister, that's my brother, that's my auntie or whatever. And we pick up people as family members or family friends. You have a lot of grace for these predators. But when it comes to the family members who are, gay, lesbians, bisexuals, pansexuals, or anywhere on the LGBTQIA plus spectrum, it's a problem and you will throw them out the family, but y'all will go up for these predators. And I had a problem with that too, because I was like, I'm the only person who, because I said it on Twitter, because I be live tweeting,
Because
like I live tweet as I'm watching it and taking notes. I was like, am I the only person who see this? I tweeted
you know what
Katori's
they
home.
did with this episode? The same thing that the black family did. They swept it underneath the rug.
Yeah, I was like, so I'm the only person who sees this. And then I was like, okay, so am I the only person who, was like crying really badly when it got to the whole Keyshawn and the what happened down to that house with the
Oh
iron?
my
Because I
God.
was like, now,
Oh yeah.
now
It was
Chip
so
Field,
sad.
I was like, Chip Fields, you better not pop up in here. You better not be like, where you been, Penny? Don't you do that? I was like, you
No.
You know what I love is how they built that story up and then they just dropped that shit.
yeah, I was like, Chip Fields, are you in here? Did you lock the door? Like, don't do it, Miss Chip Fields. I don't need this type of stress from you. And a lot of people didn't realize or pick up on, and I know you're gonna do your own stuff and you got to get off of here, but I'm gonna be very quick, is the fact that she screamed that they were going. Like she was screaming at that man, we're going, which meant, oh yeah, she was about to leave. And then he said something else to her and she let it be known you ain't gonna get another job because you can't, and
Right.
I'm
Right.
gonna continue to do what I do, and it's take care of all three of my kids. But that showed us like how it all played out with them. It's just like, how did you afford a room full of fucking flowers, but she the one taking care of you at 8 months pregnant, and she's still taking care of you,
Because that was her money.
right? And I was
Yeah.
like, I can't. I was like, I've been told y'all he needed to go. I said put some ground up glass in his food and let it be that. But no, don't nobody want to listen to me. And I hope, because I did see a little clip of Brandy Evans and Nico, Uncle Clifford and Mercedes with Angelique Yee on the lip service. They
Mm,
said that the show hadn't been renewed for a third season, like it had been renewed for that second season. But
really?
yeah, the show hasn't been renewed yet. And they were like, even Brandy was like, even if it's not renewed, she loved how they ended the second season.
Mm-hmm.
And she said the way
Mhm.
they ended is amazing. And that if they don't get a third season, she would be okay with it in that sense because of the way they ended this second season. But
You know
they
what
would
though?
love if they got a third.
I hate that because it's like we have so many time limits on our shows. And it's like, I hate, we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't know if y'all know, if y'all watch Power, Courtney Kemp not over there with them no more.
I don't watch Power.
I haven't
Okay,
watched it. I thought Power was over.
no, they Courtney created a whole universe for
Spinoff.
Power, and there's multiple spinoffs, and then 50 has Raising Kanan because he does the
Oh
voiceovers
yeah.
for that,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, I've seen the. I thought you meant Power, but you're talking about spinoffs.
yeah, okay, so
Okay.
Courtney
Yeah.
created a lot of the spinoffs, and 50 has Raising Kanan because he does the voiceovers for that, and then he got the rights to BMF, so he has that show. But Courtney parted ways with Lionsgate, and she went over there and got a good deal with Netflix, so she got stuff coming over there, and it's just like, stars, I don't know what the hell y'all doing, but get it together.
A lot of them need to go over to Netflix because you know that there's another show. I don't know if y'all seen this on BET Plus called Bigger.
No. What's it about?
Oh my God, Bigger is such a good show. It's about 4 friends. Was it 4? I think it may be 4 or 5 friends. But it's about these people who grow up from college and they go off into their own jobs or whatever, but they still are connected. It's like it's love story. It's a bunch of mixture of stuff, but it's a really good series. They canceled it after season 2. It's like everything that goes on to like these lower apps, like the black shows don't make it. And
Yeah, I know. Yeah. What?
I'm
Because
sick of
I
it.
started to get engaged in some of them, and then they just got done.
Well,
And I'm like,
that
everybody was loving it. What happened?
they
Yeah.
take the
Yeah,
Fox
you're right.
they take the Fox approach to the whole thing. And I want people to remember that when it comes to BET and BET Plus, that BET hasn't been black owned in a very, very, very long time. BET is owned by Viacom, and I feel like
Right.
people don't realize that. So that's why you see, when it comes to BET, that's why you see a lot of the stuff from
But we
MTV
gotta
play
watch
on there.
Tyler Perry stuff over and over and over
Child,
again.
don't nobody
That's
want to see
black.
that. And I was like,
And I'm
what?
sick of seeing Tyler Perry stuff. Like it's the same shit over and over again. They don't even
I,
have real dialogues. It's not even good shows. Like
I
this
said,
bigger and the First Wives clubs. Like those shows are so good.
Oh
and
And
yeah.
I don't even know if the First Wives club got renewed or not.
I don't.
But
I'm not sure
I
if they
don't
I
think
got
it
think
did.
renewed.
It didn't. It
I was
didn't. Because I
I was
watched
like,
the first season.
yeah, I was like, the Miss Pat show is really good, so I'm glad they coming
well,
back with
First Wives
more.
Club has season 2 though, right?
Yeah, they have a season 2. I'm not sure if they got a season 3. Is the
I don't never
thing.
season 3 yet.
The Miss Pat show is good. But that's exclusively to BET Plus because they allow them to really cuss and do whatever they need to do on there, and then eventually months later they bring them on to
BT.
regular BET because by that time they've been able to bleep out the cuss words or have it dubbed over with the voices. And then you have
But
the
they
new
had canceled
show.
that at one point.
What?
Miss Pat show.
That was a Miss Pat show was a hit for them on BET Plus, and they renewed her for renewed the show for a second season because and you got to shout out TikTok for this because a lot of people were sharing it around, and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I saw it. I was like, what is this show? And a lot of people were like, what is this show? And then I was like, well, let me go and get a little free trial to BET Plus so I can watch this and let's see what it's good hitting for. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
I'm
when
gonna
is this
tell you what
coming
else
back?
is good. What else is good on BT Plus is that College Hill.
Child, and I told the people, let me know if you want me to review that, because why isn't Stacey Dash in the promo pics? I'm confused.
Because she was on for an episode and a half.
See, you can't tell me that. I ain't even finished it. Like, I ain't even watched the rest of the stuff, okay? I
Wait,
ain't
she's
even
already left? She left the show?
Stacey Dash is gone.
Child, you know it wasn't gonna lie. She's a Fox commentator and she's a Trump supporter. And her white husband had her arrested for whooping on him.
Oh,
We
I
all know
remember that. Yes.
it wasn't gonna last. But you got whose show is it? Yolanda Adams. She play a good villain. I tell you that.
What is she
I
on?
She has a show on, I think it's like Kingdom Business or whatever. It's on BET Plus. Is Yolanda Adams, Tamar Braxton, Saraya from BMF, and if you
I ain't
don't know
seen
her,
no promotions for this at all.
child, it's a you,
And I got
but
BT Plus. I never even seen it.
I
You guys know what I think would be a good reality show for
What?
Zeus? YouTube beefs.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean YouTubers and Viners are
But I
a
would go
good.
to Netflix before I went to BT.
are good majority owners of Zeus. I'm not sure why they
Well,
didn't like pick that up, because a lot of people just think Lemmy is the only owner, but I was like, no, you have D Storm, King Batch, and Amanda Cerny, and then Lemmy. They all four own the company, except Lemmy is like basically the face of the whole
He's the
thing.
face, yeah.
Yeah, he's the face of the whole entire situation, and he the reason why we got when Oxygen was popping back in the day, Preachers of LA or whatever that show was.
oh
He's the
yeah,
Hmm.
uh-huh.
reason we got that. He's the reason we got that show. But it was just like King Batch, D Storm, and Amanda Cerny, like y'all all had y'all own YouTube beefs. And if you really want to get into it, some of y'all should have been career done the way y'all played some of that situations out. But once again, you look at it, you build it off the backs of black people and people being mistreated. People are either going to go up for your network or they're not going to go up for your network. And a lot of people buy into a lot of that low vibrational stuff. And it was like, for a minute, so did I. But I also had to think about where I was in life when I was buying into the low vibrations. And then after everything happened with like Jocelyn's Cabaret, that's season 2, not season 3, season 2, because I didn't watch season 1, and the way they were she treated them girls, I was like, you know what, Zeus, I want my money back. I don't know how you gonna do it, but I want my money back. Figure out how y'all gonna do that,
So
because
debonair, I see you look really. I see. I'm gonna
yeah,
be
like we,
respectful, and
yeah,
I'm gonna bow out because I see you tired, and I
yeah,
want to
me
hear what you
too.
got to say tomorrow. I'm ready for
Okay.
tomorrow already. Wait a minute, and can I have a little bit of yak too when I watch you tomorrow?
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to give you all the tea I can get because I'm
Okay,
like I said, I'm in a group with some I got some tea, y'all. I got some
okay,
good. So I'm going to find out what I'm allowed to talk about, and then whenever they give me the right of way, I'm
Hmm.
gonna give y'all some tea that's behind the
okay.
scenes. So,
Well,
All
if you
right. I'm
need
gonna say
me,
good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
all
before I
right.
say goodnight, I'm
Okay,
gonna
Well,
bye
say
guys,
bye.
if
thank
you
you for
need
joining me.
I'm gonna just say before I say goodnight, if you need me to go get the sisters, the other sister, not I call her Big, that's Nia. If you need me to go get Small's, Twitter stuff down, I go and take screenshots right now, because I was like, well, she's just going off, ain't she?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go on and try to. I'm about to try to mix all. Well, I'm gonna go to her page because I don't follow the other one.
I don't either, but
The only
a
reason why
lot.
I follow Neil was because they were battling last night. Because I follow Brooke anyway.
Hmm.
But I can just go on because I'm gonna just pull the link and just read down the timelines.
Yeah, but if you need me, I'll just send it to you, or if you need the
Yes,
screenshots.
inbox it to me.
Okay. I'll do that,
I
and then I'm
appreciate
gonna
it.
say good night, so you get you some sleep, and you get be your greatest tomorrow. Okay, get you
All
some
right.
sleep.
All right. Thank you. And buy lovely 31 blueprint and cha y'all. If y'all have not already done it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notified when I go live. Comment in the chat to get me in the algorithm, and I will see y'all tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And good night, Chris. I am extremely tired. We've been on for three. We've been on for over 3 hours, almost 4 hours. So I'm wore out. But I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to bring y'all some tea tomorrow. All right. Love y'all, and we will talk tomorrow. Bye, y'all.